Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing? What's going on? Tell me everything. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Erin Bees. I'm a wife, a mom, a military veteran, a certified personal trainer, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram at The Real Beast Mode, if you'd like to follow me on TikTok, Beast Mode LV, like Las Vegas, would love to have you guys over there. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot. Marie, I love how the thumbnail turned out. Thank you so much. I did make some tweaks, but if you are not a member and you would like to become a member, there's a link in the video description along with many other resources to become a member. And one of the things that I do is we preview the video I'm going to be covering, amongst other things, early, and we also make the thumbnail together. It's a lot of fun. So I'm being told that that is one of some of the members' favorite perks. So love that. Also, I have a new shirt. I have to show you guys. I got it from the TikTok shop. Look, guys, where are my Hocus Pocus fans? Because what? I wish I had a Hocus Pocus sound effect. I did not prepare that properly. Also, Sarah Jean, thank you. The green vibe is giving. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Yes, go grab it from the TikTok shop. I have a video with an affiliate link if you are interested. And if not, just go to the TikTok shop and check it out. I got I think it's moss green. So yeah, check it out. It's all just a little hocus pocus. You guys are going to be so upset with me. I opened this before I started. What is wrong with me? I had a little snacky snack. And as I was opening my snack, I opened my drink and then I went and I stood there for a minute like a glitch. Wait a second. Yeah. So I apologize. There will be no bubbles tonight. What? Anyways, I do want to read you guys something really quickly that I just was sent from Jane Marie at the Dream Podcast. If you have not listened to her podcast, you definitely should. Oops, let me turn the sound down. Sorry. That was a very important part of me waking up and getting out of multi-level marketing, was listening to the Dream Podcast and the different interviews and just processing all of that. So if you're in a multi-level marketing company, you happen to be here, you're quietly watching, you don't want your upline to know, I get it. Listen to the Dream Podcast. Definitely, in my opinion. It helped me. It may help you, along with many other people that are a part of the anti-MLM movement, because I know some of you are watching quietly, and you're welcome here. Contrary to what my shirt says, you can sit with us. Anyways, I got this article from Jane Marie. Jane Marie, thank you. It's a press release from the FTC today. Are y'all ready for this? I have provided the link in the video description in the event that you would like to talk about it or share it or just read it for yourself. But this says FTC staff issue report on multi-level marketing income disclosure statements or income disclosures. Report outlines findings from review of public income disclosure statements dated from today. The staff of the FTC, it says Federal Trade Commission, I abbreviated that, have issued a report that details findings from a review of income disclosure statements from 70 different MLMs. Staff reviewed income disclosure statements in February 2023 that were publicly available on the websites of a wide array of multi-level marketing companies, from large household names to smaller, less well-known companies. These statements are sometimes provided to consumers who are considering joining MLMs and often purport to show information about income that recruits could expect to receive. It's about to get juicy. It's about to be juicy. Yeah. Okay, so according to the report, FTC staff found a number of issues with the statements they reviewed, including that most omit key information when calculating the earnings amounts they present. Specifically, the report notes that most of the reviewed statements do not include participants with low or no earnings in their display of earnings amounts, and also don't account for the expenses faced by participants, which can outstrip the income they make. The report notes that these omissions are often not plainly disclosed in the income disclosure statement. It's usually at the very bottom in fine print, if it's there. The report also notes that most statements emphasize the high earnings of a small group of participants and many, entirely omit or only inconspicuously disclose key information about the limited earnings made by most participants. In addition, the staff report notes that most of the disclosure statements staff reviewed present earnings information in a potentially confusing way, like giving average earnings amounts for groups that could have very different actual incomes, or using annual income figures that aren't based on what an actual group of participants made for the year. What? It's almost like they're purposely manipulating the data in a way that they think is going to make them look better, and it's not? Yeah, okay. The report also notes, based on staff's analysis of data in the income disclosure statements, including information included in fine print, that many participants in those MLMs received no payments from the MLMs, and the vast majority received $1,000 or less per year. That is less than $84 per month. The FTC works to promote competition and protect and educate consumers. The FTC will never demand money. This is just a disclaimer with some links. I have the full link to that article that I just read in the video description. I do want to click on this hyperlink really quickly to see, yep, you can pull up the document, because I'm curious what companies they covered and if that will be revealed in this. I'm not sure if it will. But you can go to that link, you can grab the document, and check it out. Does this say the... I'm just scrolling real quick. How many? This is 95 pages. I don't know if they're going to list which companies. I just was curious because I think they said they looked at over 70 companies. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at this a little bit closer. However, I just wanted to read that press release to you guys because it's almost like we've been saying, and when I say we, let me clarify, the anti-MLM movement, even before I was a part of the anti-MLM movement, was saying that, yeah, that's a scam. So there we have it. Let me run my disclaimer and then we'll get into tonight's video. Okay, so I feel like that's a big deal. I feel like the press release is a step in the right direction. I know that a lot of us have feelings about the FTC. And no, in my opinion, no government agency is ever going to be perfect. No company is ever going to be perfect, but at least this is a step in identifying what the anti-MLM movement has been saying, that the majority of people do not make money in these things. So that's huge. Feel free to share that. And Jane Marie, thank you again for sharing that with me. That was amazing. I'm so glad you emailed that to me, because we're going to talk about an MLM coach, and Courtney Shepard, who is in Prove It. She did a podcast with Eric. And if I might speak frankly, the math is not mathing, but you know what is mathing? The lies. The lies are adding up, and it's very interesting, and we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it because it's a longer video. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen. DC taught me how I could do this. So DC, thank you. I appreciate you. And, oh, wait, hang on a second. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to speed it up because Final Cut Pro is not working for me. So I have it on 1.25. And if you guys are okay with that, let me find the right. setup here. We'll go with this one. And if 1.25 is cool with you guys, just let me know, or if you want me to, just let me know if the speed is good for you. Okay, let's get into it. This thing is an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Yep.
I lead with the opportunity. I lead with the biggest investment, and then we work our way down. Because no matter what, I'm still talking about the product every single day. I'm a product of the product. I'm exposing them to the product. But if I'm going to have my heavy hit, I'm inviting people into the opportunity because I know how much it's transformed my life. And the thing that brings me the most joy isn't just helping people consume our product and feel the better benefits of it. Like, it's changed my life for sure. I will continue to consume this product, with or without the opportunity. It's just that I've heard it time and time again.
First of all, why do they all say that? Why do they all say, I'm going to continue to take this product, even if there were no opportunity? If I could hit my mic, I'm not going to, because that would be very aggressive in your ears, especially if you have, headphones on. And yeah, but if I could, I'd be like, excuse me, Rodan and Fields called, and they'd like a word for all the people that left when they became an affiliate model because there was no opportunity. Courtney, you and I both know that is a lie. I feel like we should keep track. That's lie number one, in my opinion. Lie number one. I'm going to keep track. Okay, here we go.
It's almost like, how dare I not invite someone into this to do this with me? It's selfish to not invite people.
I agree. This. Welcome to the Excellence Project. Eric Worre here. And today I have a dear friend, Courtney Shepard.
Yes. Jessie Lee is going to be brought up. The story after her passing is going to be brought up. So a content warning around that. They don't specifically mention cancer, but we all watched that happen. So please be aware that that is also going to be a part of this podcast. They do talk about her. They do talk about her passing a little bit, and specifically the day after her passing. I have only watched about half of this, so I don't know what the other half is going to look like. So just, prepare for that. The Excellence Project.
Who is going to talk to you about her network marketing journey as best friend of Jessie Lee Ward. But some of you might have known Jessie Lee or known of Jessie Lee. Sadly, we lost her a little while ago, and too soon, but she left a big mark on the world. And Courtney is picking up where Jessie Lee left off, trying to step into her shoes. And we have a long conversation about all of those things. So I hope you enjoy it.
Okay. First of all, if somebody passes, and I'm going to use Jessie Lee as the example here. When Jessie Lee passed, Eric said she was one of a kind. So how can anybody fill her shoes? How can anybody fill anybody's shoes? Because people are all one of a kind. The fact that these people after her passing could say, oh, she was one of a kind, she was so special. And then here you have him saying Courtney is going to fill her shoes. I mean, that's just plain embarrassing. I'm not going to count that as lie number two, because I'm going to count the lies from Courtney, not from Eric. But yeah, I feel like that's weird. I feel like that's disrespectful. I feel like, thinking that somebody else can replace another human is disgusting. I don't like that.
With no further ado, let's jump right into my conversation with Courtney Shepard. Courtney Shepard, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you, Eric?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm glad you came to my house.
So honored.
And we're going to have a chat, talk about life, talk about network marketing, talk about legacy, talk about team, talk about lessons learned.
Got a lot of those.
A lot of those things. So why don't you just kind of give me the state of the union of where you're at with your business now, generally.
Please tell us.
So people get an idea of where you're at, how things are going, and then we'll go back and kind of talk about the journey.
Sounds great. So general wise, I feel like you tend to like to ask a lot of numbers when you give general. And I was actually looking at where we were at 4 years ago versus now, which is drastically different. A much larger global business that we run multiple countries. We're in about 40 plus countries now. We're 20 levels deep, 143,000 roughly in the community, and about 4.
Okay, let's stop there for just a second. She's saying 143,000 in the community. Typically, the way that we referred or what we referred to the community when I was a part of Prove It and a part of what used to be the Empire. I know they've broken up their teams and whatnot and kind of gone different directions, it looks like. We called the Facebook group the community. So I don't know if she's referring to the old Facebook group that I helped create many years ago as having 143,000. Perhaps they're not using that community, but I wanted to point this out now because this gets a little vague and it's leading into lie number 2, in my opinion. So I wanted to point this out here and I'll show you what I mean.
4,000 active team members currently.
So 143,000 customers.
Yeah, just like total inside of the network.
Customers.
That's everybody.
That includes everybody, but
Yes.
but
Majority, yes.
no, but when you're
customers.
when you're talking about the 130, how many?
143
143, and then 4,000. You have 4,000 business builders
inside of the 143.
inside of the 143.
Correct.
Right. And you're not saying that there's 139,000 that have quit.
Correct. That's not what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
No. So the 4,000 active is like the last numbers that I looked up. So I pulled up when I was looking at our team and the levels, 20 levels deep, 4,000 active people that are currently building.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
132,000 that have, or 240 that have been brought into the business over the last 7 years.
Yeah. Connected somehow,
Yes.
some way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And-
Now, here's the problem I have with this. One, it's very vague. So the 143,000, is that the people that you and your team added to this Facebook group, Courtney? Because I know that's not true. Because that Facebook group that they were using, I think they have a new Facebook group, which has even less people in it. So this is lie number 2. I'm going to write that down. Number 2 here. Everybody that was a part of that team added leads to that group. So for her to say, oh, we have 143,000 people, there's no way that she, as an admin in that group, went through the Facebook group and said, oh, these are my team members and these are the people that they added, because you would have to go through every individual member and see who added them and then know where that person was in the downline. It could be 3, 4, 5 people, down the line. I hope this is making sense, because she's claiming 143,000 like her and her team did that, but that's the entire team. And there is no way that she has 4,000 distributors, in my opinion. There's no way. That's wild. I hope that's making sense. But even then, if it's 4,000 out of 143,000 active business builders, when I did the math earlier, I think that's like 0.02% of people. That's just distributors. Anyways, I'm getting beside myself. Yeah, 20 levels deep. Hey, Courtney, did all that happen organically, or were you built by Jessie Lee? Because I know you were. And the rest of the team knows you were. And a lot of people that have been watching for a long time know you were. In addition to having a lot of Jessie Lee's team allegedly added to your downline in February of this year by Brian Underwood. That's how you hit legend. But that's also why you didn't really make a big deal about hitting legend, because you knew it wasn't something that you earned. You were given that. Yikes. Anyways, we're on line number 2.
And using the product.
Yeah.
A lot of them just customers enjoying the product, right?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And income's growing.
Yes.
I mean, when you're given, a huge leg allegedly of Jessie Lee's, of course the income is going to grow, but is it going to be sustainable? Probably not.
Are we starting to think about Hall of Fame, or?
Yeah. Yes. We actually at a small event last weekend, and that was one of the questions that we kind of went around and shared was, what's your next income goal monthly? And I was thinking, okay, over the next year, well, I already know how this game works. Okay. You've prepared me for this. So
Right.
I wasn't shooting small. I was shooting uncomfortable. And so I was like, well, I know for sure 83,000 is we're hitting that.
In a month.
Yet. Well, not in a month. Not in the, yes. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
A month, 83.3 thousand to hit the $1 million Hall of Fame. That will for sure happen. So I'm shooting for $250,000 a month.
Wow.
Because we just, we're really setting the big goals to grow again. And
that's the big stretch goal.
To grow again. Now, let me also say this because some of the members and I had a really great conversation when we were watching this. The things that I see as being inconsistent, how do I want to word this? Let me back up, scratch that. Courtney is identified as being neurodivergent. So some of the things that I have seen, and thanks to some of the members and through this conversation that we had in the members only live, we were talking about being neurodivergent, and sometimes in order to fit in and be accepted, they will mirror or mask themselves. I hope I'm wording this properly. Please let me know in the comments if there's a better way for me to say this. And so some of the things that I see from Courtney and her mirroring other people, her taking on traits and characteristics, many of the members who are neurodivergent have said that that could be something, being neurodivergent. I don't know how else to say that. So that was very interesting, that conversation. I appreciate those members that, discuss that with me in the members only live. So I'm going to not comment on that necessarily because we have watched her kind of take on different personalities and say things that somebody else used to say. And if she's neurodivergent and, that's how she is, then that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not defending what she's doing. I'm just saying that makes a lot of sense to me.
That's a big stretch goal.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Because you're a young lady.
Yeah. 35.
I mean, God, you know how much I'd pay for 35?
I've heard you talk about it.
I give you everything. Give you the whole thing.
I love hearing you talk about it because it just reminds me of how much time I still have left.
Oh my gosh, you have so much blue sky.
Yeah.
I do too, but you just have more.
And I'm still hard on myself in this journey.
Are you really?
Yeah, of course I am.
Why?
Because it's really about the journey of becoming, just finding joy in that I've allowed myself to surrender to and to find it. But for the longest time, looking at everyone else and feeling like my success should look different. It should come faster. It should,
compare yourself to others.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So where'd you grow
how
up?
could you possibly go faster when you've been gifted allegedly, large chunks of volume from other teams or from your upline, your former upline? How could you possibly move faster? I mean, you have the cheat code, in my opinion. The only way that you could move forward faster is if you were like Michael Rutherford, who had a deal allegedly, actually, it's not even alleged, that's in the lawsuit, with Brian Underwood, which, hey, Michael Rutherford, pay your lawyer. You owe your lawyer $16K, pay your lawyer. Ew.
In Missouri.
Okay.
Actually, smaller town, 500 people graduated with. So
what was it like? That's a pretty big graduating
every
class
time
for a small town.
Every time I say I'm from a small town.
Small town, only 500 graduated.
In network marketing, you hear more people talk about small towns, and then you realize, I'm like, oh, well, okay, my town wasn't that small. I got a lot of big life exposure. I was outside of St. Louis, about 45 minutes, but we were raised more in the country, and we never really got to take those big family vacations. My mom was a single mom for me, and I grew up with my stepdad and my 3 younger brothers, but we were always in low income, definitely on financial aid. And I knew I didn't want to raise my family in that. My mom had me when she was 17. So we were, growing up together. So to speak. Yeah.
So
the other thing that I find really interesting is she talks about her mom being a single mom, and then she mentions a stepdad. And then later on, she goes to mention that her grandparents raised her and her siblings and had a good amount of money. So I'm confused on how that's being presented. I guess that's the best way that I can say that. I'm confused how she's presenting that because it feels like the story is changing as we're going, which, yeah, that's how I feel about that.
So you had, how many siblings did you say you had?
I grew up with 3 younger brothers.
Younger brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your mom had you when she was 17.
Yes.
So You're the oldest of 4.
This is so uncomfortable.
And what was it like?
This is on 1.25. This is sped up to 1.25.
You know, growing up with that, you know,
Dynamics.
assistance and dynamic and all that stuff. Did you know any different, or everything was just normal?
You know, it's interesting. My grandma and my grandpa, they raised us a lot. So they definitely were making 6 figures. My grandma, you know, she ran her own companies. Her mother was kind of like my anchor to all the good in the world. She passed away whenever I was 5. And she was that person that just brought joy. She brought like an anchor into my life of trust. And
how do you remember that all the way back to 5?
It's just like the time that she would spend with me. She was so present, and she took time to teach me things. And I always kind of felt like I was the black sheep of the family, you know.
Why?
I was the oldest of 4, so I was kind of taking on that motherly role. My mom was working all the time, 2 to 3 jobs. My grandparents were raising us, so we just kind of I just fell into the feeling like I was not always being listened to. And
now,
the
reason I'm bringing that up about the story changing is because here's my questions. 1, is she changing her story? Do you guys think, is she changing her story to sound more like Jessie Lee's story? Which is weird because Courtney's story is enough. You know, Courtney, if you're seeing this, your story is enough. You don't have to change it to make it sound like you're trying to fill Jessie Lee's shoes, like what Eric said at the beginning of this, if that's what's going on. But 2, what do you mean you felt like the black sheep because you were raising? This is why I'm so confused. You just said you were taking on the motherly role of your siblings, but then you were raised by your grandparents, but then you had a stepdad in your life and your mom. I'm confused. Is it just me? Because I feel like I've not heard this part of her story before. And I feel like it's changing. Right. Also this, if your grandparents are raising you, then why did you need to take on a motherly role? Now, why am I bringing all of this up? Because when you're in an MLM, you are taught to tell your story. And over time, you're taught to embellish that story to make it sound a little bit better. And I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. Is she, you know, adding in whatever she wants to make it sound good? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I was raised by a single mom. Oh, I have a stepdad. And maybe that's because stepdad came in the picture later on. I get that. But then mom worked 2 to 3 jobs, raised by grandparents, and she goes into talking about how her grandparents were wealthy. And I'm just confused by all of it. Because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if it's just me. Also, what is the purpose of this podcast? Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's to glamorize multi-level marketing. I think it is a funnel in some way, shape, or form for Courtney to recruit and for Eric to get MLM coaching prospects. That's my opinion. I feel like if MLMers are the audience, they already know who she is. What's the purpose of asking these personal questions? Agreed. Okay, it's not just me. We're all confused. I can't keep up. History is not historying. If she's telling a choose your own adventure, is she telling a choose your own adventure book in real life? Seriously, Jen, that's a great comment. Yeah, okay. It's not just me. I appreciate that. Yeah. Typically, who's watching this podcast? People that are in multi-level marketing that follow Eric.
Always understood whenever I would speak. I just felt like I was always thinking outside of the box. Like I saw myself being a millionaire. I saw myself not walking the normal line. I didn't really even know if college was my thing at the time, although none of our family had gone to college. So it was like, I want to do all the things that no one else is doing. And I got to see success and see that, you know, what kind of like that rich life experience felt like through
your grandparents,
through my grandparents, but more so through my great aunt and through my great grandma. So they talked a lot about money, but I wasn't shown how to manage money properly with how I was being raised.
So you had a little taste of what wealth might look like. You wanted to be different.
Mm-hmm.
There's small town people and there's big city people. I grew up in a small town and I could not wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
I had to get out of there.
Okay. Can we actually talk about this? Because I don't know. I'm not sure. I went through pictures. I went through the Jessie Lee subreddit. I'm not sure if that's Jessie Lee's jacket. So if any of you know and feel confident sharing in the comments, let me know, but I'm not sure. Some people said yes. Some people said, I don't know. This though, I thought you lived in poverty. Oh, but now you have a great grandma and an aunt that are rich and also had a taste of the rich life through your grandparents. So which is it? Which story is it? Because it doesn't add up. Yeah. Her jacket does look familiar. I agree, but I don't know for sure if that's Jessie Lee's jacket, although she has worn a lot of Jessie Lee's clothes we have seen. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I can enjoy going back and, the quaint parts of small town life, but I'm not a small town guy.
Yeah.
I like being close to at least like being close to the action, but from a little bit of a distance, like a suburb of a city. Like I'm here in Vegas, it's quiet where I am, but I can see the strip.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, were you somebody that couldn't wait to get out of there?
I definitely saw myself traveling the world. I didn't really know exactly where I would go. It's so interesting because I felt like I could see myself in like that small town country vibe for sure. Cause there's parts of it that I really, really loved. But once we started, growing our family, it just became obvious I get why people live in subdivisions. I get why they have the smaller yards and because we always had a big yard and all of those things. So we've definitely been in the suburb. We found, ironically enough, that we tend to gravitate towards about 45 minutes from an airport. So that's about the distance that I'm at.
Got it. So decent student in school?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're smart?
Yeah. For the most part, till about senior year.
And then you said, screw it.
Yeah, I don't need this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And did you go to college or no?
I did some college. Yeah, I didn't finish getting an associate's degree. I actually originally was going for being a teacher. There's all these synchronicities in our childhood where we see ourselves being certain types of people. And I was like, oh, I can't do the paparazzi. I would love to be a singer, but can't do the paparazzi. Maybe I'll be a teacher, because that's the same thing.
Were you good at singing?
I was actually.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
What do you sound like you have
what do you mean? A singer and a teacher are the same thing. What? I want to be a singer, but I can't deal with the paparazzi, but she shares every aspect of her life on social media. Make that make sense.
You have a Broadway voice.
I have.
Like a Disney voice.
Yeah, I could feel that's totally my vibe. I could see
like,
that.
Like
two different things.
What's the movie? Pitch Perfect.
Oh yeah. I vibe with that. I like Pitch Perfect.
Okay.
I like both of those. They're fun.
I could hear that.
The acapella, yeah. I've always had a lot of fun with singing and went choir throughout school, but I ended up going for teaching. And when I did that, I liked it at first. And then I started to really think about what do teachers have to, they have to fall in line. They have to, and I love teachers, biggest hearts. Like there's such a crucial piece of our, society.
They're a huge part of our society. I do agree with her there, but what do you mean teachers have to fall in line? Do you mean that there's policies and procedures that they have to follow within their school district? Kind of like MLMs have policies and procedures that the distributors of the company have to follow, right? You have to fall in line too, Courtney. So that's a weird example.
All those things, but I just couldn't do it. I was like, I get it. No matter what, I'm gonna have to play politics, but the way teachers have to do it, I just can't do it. And I'm not a very good employee. So I just kind of stepped back and wanted to pour myself into work, into making money and just figuring out what
so this was age what?
I took a year off after high school, went into college about 18, 19. And I was only there for about 2 years and then stepped back. And I don't talk about enough that I originally bought my first kit when I was 18. I stepped back.
You bought it or your grandmother bought it for you? Also, did you buy your kit when you joined Modere? No, you didn't. Did you buy your kit when you joined Prove It, or did somebody else buy that for you too, Courtney? So I don't really think that you can say you bought the kit, because I'm pretty sure here in just a second you say that your grandmother did. Lie number 3, writing it down.
Back from school, and I was.
So you got connected to network marketing at 18?
At 18.
Wow.
But I had no idea. other than, buying makeup and my grandma dabbling in things like here and there and buying stuff, I didn't realize that this was a profession.
Was it a party plan type thing?
Definitely party plan back then. She set a fishbowl up when I was a manager at a retail store.
But it's American.
And she said, "Oh, I would just like to set this up so that we could do a drawing." Well, of course, I won the drawing.
Of course,
I won with. Oh my God!
I'm sure all of the other people that went into the
all
fishbowl
won.
And so she came to my house with my grandma, and my grandma was like, "Yeah, I would totally use some of these products. Let's just get the big kit for the discount." I did go to meetings, a couple.
Yeah.
And skincare and makeup just really wasn't my thing.
Okay.
But that's where I started.
So you did that way back then. So just kind of dabbled with grandma.
Yeah, but she wasn't in it. She was just like, "Yeah, I'll help you. I'll support you." I've always had, growing up, I always had belief poured into me by my grandparents and my mom. My mom always told me, like, you can do anything you say your mind to. And I believe that. So
So fast forward, what happens next? I mean, are you still in small town?
Yeah, and I'm working multiple jobs at this point.
In small town, you're working multiple jobs, and in small town, there's not a lot to do. And when there's not a lot to do, people usually get in relationships real young.
Yes. Made bad decisions.
They make some interesting decisions.
We can call them interesting.
Boredom is a very dangerous thing.
Yes.
Because if somebody's bored, there's no end to the amount of trouble they could put themselves into.
Very true.
So tell me what happens.
A lot of trouble, actually.
I brought this up on the members only live, but watching her, and this is where the conversation about being neurodivergent came up in this members only live stream. Her parroting what's being said to her. Eric talked about being, in a small town and being bored. It can be kind of dangerous. You make poor decisions, those types of things. And then she goes on to say, "Oh yeah, I made a lot of poor decisions and, got in a lot of trouble," or however she worded it just now. And if you really pay attention, she does that a lot in this conversation. It's almost like she's adapting. Maybe it's for acceptance. Like many of you that are neurodivergent superheroes have shared with me, that is, they want to be accepted. And that's the way that some people go about doing that. I don't know if I'm wording that. I feel like I'm wording that weird, but hopefully that comes across. Yeah.
I didn't really take any of the network marketing serious. I ended up finding a couple of bad relationships. I really found myself making bad decisions in terms of the boredom and just being around people that weren't really my friends, that were just there because, we were at the same place, same time. So just kind of, at this point in my life, really searching for something more, searching for something bigger and trying to find that community.
I say it often that I think the longest journey is between when you finish your formal education and you find your thing.
Yeah.
You're unsettled. It's like you're rudderless. You don't quite know what's going to happen. And there's never more of a time where good fortune or serendipity or.
I would like to remind everybody that this is sped up 1.25.
I mean, I don't know what you'd call it. Luck that
she might have Savannah.
One key relationship can take you right or left.
Yeah.
One key incident could take you right or left. A good life, tough life. One key thing. Now, it doesn't have to define you, but sometimes you go through there's two-way doors you can go in. Oh, that didn't work out. Come back. And there's one-way doors where you go through and there's no coming back.
That's true.
I
like that.
Yeah. So yeah, this season of finding your thing.
Yeah.
So what things did you try prior to finally landing on this profession?
So whenever I took a step back from it, I feel like looking back, it happened really quickly. When I took a step back from college, trying to figure out what my thing would be, I really saw myself trying to find a way to run my own business and, either working for someone who was, or like really building that dream inside of it. And I had found a friend that kept telling me I would be really good at this thing, all while not realizing I had already tried some of these things. Isn't that so strange? The way that it all plays out. And that led me to that connection that changed everything. In 2014, February 2014 I was thinking about it. I started seeing, I saw a friend of mine doing it and I was like, I can't do what she does. There's no way I could do it. These were women's parties. Okay. So, I was like, I can't do what she does. There's no way, until I saw someone that I looked at and thought, if she can do it, I can do it. And so I was already in alignment, knowing that this is what I was going to go do. I walk into this bridal show and she was there. And it was a new brand, a new company at the same time. Fast forward, that company is what led me to meeting Jessie Lee. And so
was that the party plan company that she was involved with prior to her getting involved, like officially in network marketing?
Yes. So this was still direct sales.
Parties
I joined. I had been doing it for about probably about 10 months when I went to the first convention, and that changed everything for me. That's when I really was like, okay, I can make this a thing, and I can take this serious. And in the inside of that company, I found my husband now, not through that company, but while I was there, I was going full time with it, found him. And then fast forward, we're pregnant super fast into that relationship. I had already met Jessie Lee. And at this point through my pregnancy, I had watched her transition companies. And I was told, don't follow her, block her. And I was like, there's got to be a story to this woman, because I relate so much to.
Because she was so polarizing at the time?
Yes.
So she's talking about when Jessie Lee was terminated from slumber parties, from Pure Romance, and went to Modere. And people in Pure Romance were told to block Jessie Lee, not follow her, which is the same thing we see in all these companies. And I probably paused it too soon, because listen to what Eric says here.
And bold and just loud in her opinions. And I knew there was a story there, because if I'm getting emails telling me to block someone, to not follow someone, then there's got to be something there.
Why were they saying that?
Eric, for the same reason that allegedly Modere was calling all of the CEOs, the Modere executives were allegedly calling all of the CEOs and C-suite of other MLM companies after they had terminated Jessie Lee and told them not to work with her. Eric, you know why these companies do it. Because you're the one that called her in the elevator when you caught wind of it. Come on. Why do you think they do that? Eric, you know why.
You know?
Do you think?
I think that sometimes.
Back then.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, when we've had a lot of people leave our business. And that scenario, ultimately, I'll share this, is that it showed me exactly what to do and what not to do, to just love people where they're at, and to not make a big deal if they're not making a big deal. Right. And I think that they were trying to kind of, sweep things over, like blow them under the rug, trying to not get people to look at it. And in reality, all that made people want to do is watch and look.
Interesting.
So by bringing it up,
she wasn't going to be stopped anyway.
I mean,
right?
No.
It wasn't going to matter. You could block it. Wouldn't matter. You'd still hear on the other side of the world.
And for me, it didn't take the emails. I was watching anyway.
Yeah.
And in that process of
So when did you meet Jessie Lee then?
2014.
Okay. So you met her, but you weren't part of her group.
Took a photo, said hello, followed her training.
What color was her hair at the time?
Black.
Black.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever.
And she wore a lot of pink.
Yeah, a lot of pink.
Yeah, she wore a lot of pink back then.
Yeah. I didn't know her until she had colorful hair.
Yeah. Blue.
Yeah. Yeah. In the blue phase.
Yes, very much. Bold.
The first six-figure summit. Huh? The first six-figure summit. When she
shaved head.
Yeah. No, a little on the side. Yeah.
Side
with the blue, and she came in all sassy, and then she realized it was a really big room.
I remember her joining that too.
And she was like,
after GoPro.
Oh, this is like, there's big money in here.
She talks about that. She came in with her Michael Kors bag or something like that, and was thought she was hot stuff.
She was hot stuff.
Yeah. It's just the growth that
I just didn't know how to take her for real or not, just because the energy was so unusual.
Yeah.
Then it's like, is this for real? Is this like, how much you making?
I felt that vibe for myself as well.
Yeah. You're supposed to be in this room.
Oh my God.
Like, kind of.
Yeah.
DC, what's up? How you doing? Look at me screen sharing with the audio, just like you taught me. So thank you.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So,
I think that's what has happened a lot over.
Yeah. So I mean, the company that you're with now, you worked with her for how many years?
So that was 2014. I had joined her in June of 2016. And then we really started building a relationship in 2017. And then we're coming up on 7 years next month that we've been inside of Prove It.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's fine. It's fine.
Inside of our company now.
Yeah. No worries. So those who don't know who Jessie Lee Ward was a.
Have you ever noticed before this? I think this is a new tattoo. I think it's like a Viking because he's a big Vikings fan. I think that's what that is. But yeah, that's definitely new.
a dear friend of both of ours, and who passed away too soon last year. Sad.
Horrible.
You and I got to be there. I got to be there the day before. You were there the whole time.
Yeah.
But I was glad I got on that plane. I'll tell you what. So did I ever tell you the story of the day after?
I don't think so. Maybe we talked briefly at GoPro, but we haven't really had time.
Oh my gosh. So the day after, I have to go film some things, and I got to go speak at a big conference for a major company.
I've heard this not from you, but from Marina.
Yeah. So I'm doing some recording at our big studio and getting ready to go. There's, I don't know, 3,000 people waiting for me. And I got to go speak in like 45 minutes for 3 hours. And Marina pulls up and she says, hey, I'm going to go with you. And I'm like, what? You drive your car, I'll drive my car. I mean, what's going on? And then, I could see her face, and then like, oh man, that she was gone. But, and I almost didn't go. I was just like,
but look at you, Eric. Look at you showing up, and, in the face of adversity, you've just lost somebody so close to you, and look at you showing up and still speaking to a group of multi-level marketers, what you refer to as network marketers, because the next Jesse Lee could be in that room. He's going to talk about that here in a second, but I just find that so disgusting. I find it so foul. Also, why are they even talking about this? How is this relevant to trying to recruit people into multi-level marketing or trying to get new coaching, customers for Eric Worre? How is this even relevant? I don't understand what the point of them talking about this. This feels like it should have been a conversation not being recorded on the podcast. You want to honor Jesse Lee, absolutely. But I just feel like he's making this about him. Like, look at me. I almost canceled, but I didn't. There were 3,000 people in that room that were, needing me. And the next Jesse Lee could have been in that room. I just find that so disgusting.
But I can't.
How? Right.
I cannot do this. And literally, it was like her voice in the car saying, if you don't, I will kick your ass. There's the next Jesse Lee in that room. You better go.
Yeah.
You better go. So I did. And it turned into a huge thing from going. Yeah. I mean, you never know who's going to be in the room. It turned into a humongous thing, global thing. So,
wasn't it Herbalife?
So anyway, lessons learned in the last 7 years.
Yeah. A lot.
So let's talk about some of those in any particular order that you'd like to go through them. What are some of the lessons learned? What are some of the wisdom that you picked up? What have you developed as your own superpowers? What do you do well? What are you still working on?
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Well, when I think about when I finding Jesse Lee and the time that it took for me to find a leader that I was connected to, I had already felt that for years at this point. And I emulated everything that she did. I used the one-liner she would give. I did my trainings the way that she would do them. Before that, we were even really loud on social media. We were inside of Facebook groups together. And I watched her for 10 months to really see, is this person, without liking, without commenting, because back then we were on Facebook a lot. And if you liked or commented, other people could see it. You still can, but I was not letting anyone know that I was watching. And in that process, I think it's so important because I watched her to make sure that not only did she mean what she said, but that she actually...
I was trying to pause it with a hotkey. It didn't work. Anyways, why do you think... I have my theory, but why do you think she had to say, I was watching, but I couldn't let anybody know I was watching. I couldn't let anybody know that I was liking it. So she couldn't like the whatever she was watching, the video or the post or whatever, or comment on it. Why do you think that might be? Let me know in the comments. Also this, copying someone is not a flex, Courtney. No, it's new, Savannah. That's definitely new. He's never had that tattoo that I have, as long as I've known him. And it does look new. The reason that I think she's highlighting that is, well, let me back up. why I'm making this kind of a big deal here in this moment is because this is very us versus them thinking. This is about behavior control. This is what high control groups do. You know, if you're not with us, you're against us. So Jessie Lee was terminated from Pure Romance. And so everybody that was a part of Pure Romance that had a relationship with her was told, you know, block her, delete her, don't follow her, that kind of thing. And it created us versus them. And in my opinion, Jessie Lee capitalized on that. When she went to Modere, she was like, well, you're either with us or you're against us, kind of thing. So I just find that interesting that she's bringing that up, and she's actually talking about, hey, they didn't want me to, you know, interact with her, that I couldn't like her posts, I couldn't comment because my upline was watching. Yeah, because it's a commercial cult. So I'm glad she brought that up.
Actually did what she said she was going to do.
Fast.
Like, she followed through. She was so consistent. You know, the way that she showed up online, you could always tell it was so consistent. It was exactly who she was in person. And I watched to figure all of that out, especially for someone who, when I met her, she's very clearly introverted.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a huge piece of really how I adapted and over these last 7 years of just consistently show up as exactly who you say that you're going to, and follow through and do what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that was probably one of the biggest things that has carried me through, because it created so much authenticity. And that became such a you know, a motto for her as well, of just be you, be so you, and so authentically you, that you're going to repel people away from you. You're going to create haters, and the haters are what make you famous. And
oh my God. Ironic that she could potentially be wearing Jessie Lee's jacket talking about authenticity. Be so for real right now, Courtney. Also, the haters make you famous. Okay, are you famous yet, Courtney?
all of that. There's so many lessons tied inside of all of those different things that I've had to face along the way. And that really set like such a strong foundation for me of, I know who I am when I go to sleep at night. Like, I know what my character is. It doesn't matter what my reputation is and what other people say about me.
Right. And just so long as they're saying something.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know, right? This is taking a process to really
to be okay with that.
Yes. I mean, especially over the last year.
Why?
Because over the I would say about 2.5, 3 years ago, the haters online got really, really loud.
I remember.
And they got loud for Jessie Lee. But inside of that process, and
ask yourself why the haters, we're going to talk about that here in a second, but ask yourself why, Courtney, the haters got loud. Could it possibly have been because of what they were seeing come out of Jessie Lee's mouth? The haters that you say are, you're probably calling me a hater, you know, watching this video or whatever, Courtney. That's fine. I really don't care. Anybody that doesn't agree with people that are in a cult, a commercial cult, multi-level marketing, network marketing, social retail, social selling, whatever they want to call it, you're termed a hater. Because the last thing that Courtney wants her downline to do is listen to somebody that is asking them to critically think about the income disclosure statement, about the benefits that Prove It says that their ketones give for, you know, to people that drink them. The last thing that she would want to do is have somebody listen to somebody that is asking questions that causes that person to critically think for themselves and realize what they're participating in. So this is a strategy for high control groups to control the behavior, control the information that their people are getting. Oh, that's just a hater. Don't worry about them. Just block them. And then she's going to sit here and say, oh, I don't listen to them. Okay. Right, Courtney. I believe that.
I'm very loudly spoken about as the best friend. I'm not a best friend. I'm the best friend.
Who cares?
And that can kind of also cast this. I know how I want to show up. I know what Jessie Lee's best friend should look like. And do I feel like I'm that person? And all around the same time of me trying to kind of figure that out for myself of who am I? How do I want to show up? And what is the most authentic version of myself, while people are kind of rejecting me in some areas.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me know in the comments. Do you have to, if you're somebody that does anything on social media, do you have to think about how to show up authentically, or do you just show up? Because I feel like, and maybe this is just me, what you see is what you get. You meet me in real life, this is who I am. And people that have met me in real life will tell you that. However, I feel like with multi-level marketing and creating a brand, wait till they get to the brand and social media part of this. It's absolutely wild. I feel like the last thing that you should be spending time overthinking is how you show up as yourself. That should be, this is who I am. I'm not saying how you present yourself, but like, the whole authenticity, show up as your authentic self. I just feel like that's a way for them to control behavior and make people think about, you know, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I just feel like if you are somebody that is authentic and you're somebody that does live streams or puts content up or whatever, you click the button, you take the picture, you put the post up, you're not really, I feel like, and I could be wrong, thinking about how do I show up authentically? You just show up as yourself. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I'm way off on that one, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I also think it's really weird that she's like, I wasn't just a best friend, I was the best friend. So what? Okay. Cool. I don't understand why there's such emphasis on that.
Learning the process that's happening for me, not to me. And so these haters are getting really, really loud about her and slowly but surely start attacking me in the process as well. And I'm just so grateful that I had her there through that process because
attacking you. It couldn't possibly be because you almost took your daughter out on an escalator because you couldn't put the phone down in your can of ketones to take the suitcase down the escalator, which you shouldn't be doing anyways. And there's signs all over the escalator that show that. It couldn't possibly be because of the things that you were saying and doing that people were appalled you were doing and saying. It couldn't possibly be, you know, the results of your actions. No. It's haters. They just got really loud. They just attacked you, Courtney, because you were Jessie Lee's best friend, the best friend. What? Courtney, stop it.
Because I not only was always watching myself, like seeing things through my own perspective, especially with her, but also watching them through her perspective because she's a person. We all think she's an alien and she's like Elon Musk, but she really is just a girl. She's just a human being. And you know,
she's not like Elon Musk. She was not like Elon Musk. She was just Jessie Lee. Like
this more than anyone as someone who mentored her and coached her through phone calls and things that were going on. And she would remind me, like, just don't read them. Don't allow yourself to get sucked in. We're all human. Her and I both got sucked into videos about ourselves time and time here, time in there. But we know that when you highlight something and you draw attention to it, it brings more attention to it.
Right.
And my followers have no idea that there's people online hating about me unless I tell them. And
are you trying to say that you control what kind of content your followers consume? Because absolutely not. That's not how the world works at all. And bold of her to think that all of her followers are pro Courtney. That's not how the internet works. What are you talking about? They don't know that there's negative things about me on the internet unless I tell them. Who do you think you are, Courtney? What is happening?
They have no idea the things that are being blasted about. I don't even know at this point because I just learned how to shut it off. I mean,
and guess what they're going to find? They're going to find a video just like this. So hello, if you came from Eric Worre's podcast, welcome. You can sit with us, even though my shirt says you can't sit with us, but it's a Hocus Pocus shirt. So, you know, it's what it is.
I'm sure have people. Ghosts. Yeah. It's like wow. I don't know about it. And you know what? I've shifted my energy that I don't actually have people telling me in my inbox that they don't even, I had people randomly like, they're live about you right now. And I'm just like, oh, the devastation. And it just totally took me out of my energy and my element. But that doesn't happen to me anymore. I'm able to just
get stronger.
Yeah. Get stronger.
Yeah.
And so the last year of kind of navigating that without her here physically has been interesting, but also I had her so strongly in person for so long that.
Yeah. Like your mom.
Yeah.
Had for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the same amount of time.
It's true.
Crazy. Thing about haters is they do run out of energy.
What?
They just do. They just do. They might get replaced by somebody else.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Now let's talk about haters. Now, I've already kind of mentioned this before, but they classify people that don't agree with multi-level marketing for whatever reason, whether you've been a part of it or not, as a hater. It's just a way to control their downline. It's a way to control their audience so that, okay, you're either with us or against us. It's part of the bite model. Anyways, haters run out of energy. First of all, the us versus them mentality is there's a lot of gray area in that, although they don't want to admit that. There are people that have never been a part of multi-level marketing that think it's a scam. There are people that have, such as myself, been a part of the inner circle and lots of experience, 13 and a half years to be exact, 6 companies, that the call's coming from inside the house. So just because you don't like the information that is being shared by the anti-MLM movement does not mean that we are haters. Now, are there people on the internet that are just haters, that just, don't like people for whatever reason? Sure, absolutely. But to call anti-MLM movement participants, supporters, creators, haters because you don't like the stats and the data that is being shared is just a way to control your audience. And also, as long as you're putting out content, Eric and Courtney and anybody else in an MLM, I can tell you we have all the energy in the world. Yeah, we have all the energy in the world. So there's that part.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have
Lucky, what's
somebody
up?
criticizing what
So
you're
true.
doing, you look at anybody doing anything.
Yeah.
Politics is weird, so that gets really strange. But any titan of industry, any business person, anybody is going to be questioned.
Mm,
Anybody who gives something, it's never enough
it's true.
what they give. So
Mm.
you have to do the things that you're going to do for your own reasons. But let me back up from the big view and get granular.
Oh, let's get granular, Eric.
I work with some organizations that are very, very good at social media and some that are not good at social media. And
Same,
the
Chelsea.
ones that were not really struggled during pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were had a big boom and had to deal with the aftermath of the big boom of the pandemic growth. Right. But how do you build a network marketing business
I love
in
that.
today's world utilizing social media?
That's granular.
Well, I want you to break it down.
Okay.
Break it down. Tell me how a person join your organization.
Okay. I've watched this part. A couple things that I want to point out before we get into it. Please pay attention to Courtney's use of we instead of I. He's asking her, how do you train these people that you join? She uses we. And for me, having been a part of multi-level marketing, if I was on this podcast, and I told the members earlier, if I were on this podcast and Eric was asking what I did to train new people, I would say, I do this. Within our team group, I do that. We have this set up. But there's a lot of emphasis on we, which, okay, maybe that's just their team thing, but it's not the team being interviewed on this podcast. And so to me, that kind of stands out. It could just be me. I don't know. And the other thing, I'm not going to spoil it, but I will tell you it's a strategy that we used all the way back in Modere in 2016. Yeah. So just wait for it.
Join your team. How do you show the average person how to go on social media, create customers,
Yes.
create
Please
distributors,
tell us,
and build a team?
Courtney.
Yeah. When you first started asking the question, my first thought is that you have to be hybrid. There's so much inside of
hybrid means that you're building in person, holding events of some kind in person, and also building online in case you don't know what that means.
we do in person and connecting with people that transfers online. And the first thing that people need to be able to build online is to know their transferable skills. Because if you have a bad reputation, you're either going to be promoted or exposed based on, I don't know, you probably said this before, I'm quoting somebody else, based on the life that you led prior. And so we have people that we bring in to show them how to build online that maybe they don't have a network. Maybe they haven't connected with people. So building online is going to take a little bit more time. But either way, the first thing that we do with them is get them to really share, like create and build their brand. So what
are the elements of a brand?
Please tell us.
For me,
in your mind.
For me personally, it's those things that like really the foundation of it is just the value points that you can talk about forever. I think nowadays people try to overcomplicate what it looks like to build online. And if you talk about things that are valuable to you, that you could
What do you mean by value points? You just talk about passions, things that you could talk about for forever.
Yeah.
Things that you're interested in.
Yeah. That's kind of where it starts. And I think when people try to tell you how to build online and they really want you to niche down and get super specific in categories, that absolutely works. And it will allow you to grow and expand super fast if that's how your brain works. I'm a multifaceted person and I'm a woman. So I just have things about me that I talk about. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. Yes, I have those value points that I could go on and on about. And so inside of that, it's like, what can I talk about forever that I can also connect and transfer conversations easily from the value that I'm bringing online into my product or service or opportunity that I have to offer. And so for myself, it's that getting people to kind of dive into and coaching.
So what do they love? Just
Yeah.
what do they love? What could they talk about? Start talking about it more?
Yes. And then really getting them to.
Sorry. So you think that when you sign up a new distributor into Prove It, that if they talk about the things that they like, that's going to convert to sales? I mean, Courtney, that's not how that works. Also, there are so many things that I have learned about building a brand online. Things like, what are your brand colors? I think we can all clearly pick up on my brand colors being jewel tones, always. Purple, greens, you know what I'm saying? Like, brand colors are a way to be recognized, and that's important when it comes to marketing. So to say that, oh, well, if you just talk about the things that you love, that's going to attract the right people, it's going to convert to sales, it's going to convert to signing up distributors in the company. That's not how that works. You can't just hit the live button and just expect, okay, you know, YouTube is going to be work in my favor and to everybody if you're not embracing the things that you need to be doing in order to help the algorithm say, hey, we need to show this to this particular audience. Things like tags and SEO data and keywords and things of that nature. It's very, very important, no matter what platform you are wanting to build on social media or whatnot. So to just say, talk about the things that you love, talk about the things that bring you joy and expect to bring customers, that's not how that works. And I'm sure that there are some social media and marketing people in the chat that are way more educated. I'm learning every day, and I'm really grateful to be learning every single day on how to, you know, use all of these hacks, if you will, to grow my brand on social media. But I just feel like she said a whole lot of nothing. Just add value. What do you mean? Even Eric said, well, what do you mean add value? Just talk about the stuff you like. The stuff I like may not be the stuff you guys like. The stuff that Courtney likes may not be the same stuff that her audience likes. You have to adapt to what your audience through analytical data is showing you they like for you to do. So I just find this really odd.
To answer all these questions so that they understand more about themselves, because they all think they're boring. They have nothing to talk about. And so as we're coaching them through, these are the things that you have. Sometimes what they picture their value points are going to be end up transitioning. Points. There's a fly.
Fly's chasing you.
He is.
It's all right.
Sometimes the value points that they think.
I mean, is the fly chasing you because you're full of, I'm asking for a friend.
That they're going to bring to their online social media ends up transitioning as we kind of coach them through it, because it's not just about, you know, it's not just about the value points. It's also, what do you want to be known for in the process? And so they kind of take that on a little heavy. So it takes time to like peel back the layers and process it for them.
Well, like Jessie Lee was the best student I think I've ever had when it comes to
this part.
Taking, here's a kernel of idea. Take this idea.
Yeah.
And you see her squeak and she'd jump off her chair and she'd write it down and you know it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know why it was done? Because she would take that idea and she would put it in the champ chat and then we would figure out how to do it. That's why.
she would go implement.
She was already texting us when you were,
Right.
yeah.
You know, she's like, okay, we're going to do this now. So she created, she put those things in place inside of very, very kind of stable, solid systems.
Mhm.
Were you part of the system creation?
Yes. Is systems my strong point? No.
Okay.
I could align with her vision and her idea and be able to bring the team together to work on. I was always involved in all of these projects from the point that we launched to recreating the foundation of our system whenever it was Facebook groups, and then reestablishing it whenever we kind of took it digital and really.
What are you talking about? Did you help make the Facebook groups or not when we joined Prove It? I was putting a lot of documents and a lot of information, a lot of posts and a lot of stuff in there. It was myself and one other person who is not somebody that speaks up publicly about it, that were actually putting information in there because nobody else was stepping up to do it. Courtney, you're acting like you're you were the boss, like you were the coordinator of all of it. Are you kidding me? No, you were not. Maybe in your mind. Maybe in your mind you were the coordinator, but you definitely were not the person that was like running the show. What are you talking about? That's lie number 4. Lie number 4. Now, if I was as technologically advanced as DC, I would have had like a counter, but you know what? I'm just going to do little tick marks on my notepad because that's how we're doing it. Gen X style over here.
They started doing that as well. So I've always been a part of every layer of the system.
What did you learn? What was it? What are the lessons you learned about the value of systems?
It's really how I firmly believe that inside of the systems, you have to have your own authenticity. And that is what creates the duplication, but you don't get the duplication unless you have standard operating procedures written out for each of these things that can be done.
Give me an example.
Because we have employee mindset people that come in. And so they need a playbook on telling them exactly how to post, telling them.
So you tell every person that's in your business, here's exactly how to post on social.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly how to post, how to show up, stories, how to bring value.
And how's that working for you? How's that exact same cookie cutter marketing that doesn't hit according to the analytics? How is that working for you, Courtney? Oh, it's not, because the only people that are really interacting are people that are already on the team. Yeah, that sounds about right. The purpose of marketing is to stand out from your competition. If you are telling people what to post, what sounds to use, which they're doing, Prove It is doing in their promoter group. Hey, here's trending audio. Here's this, post this, do this, use a picture of this. That's embarrassing. Prove It. Y'all are terrible at social media, in my opinion. But if you're telling people that just joined to copy and paste, oh, just change some of the wording or whatever, that is the opposite of marketing. That I don't even know what to call that. What do you call the opposite of marketing? I have no idea.
Value, where to bring the value, how often you should bring the value, and
then you just kind of plan to review until you figure out the formulas. What's the current formula? So on frequency
with posting, especially still, I love that the foundation of it hasn't really shifted because people. Yes, they're told to post more or post less, but we've always gone by the 4-2-1 or the 10-4-1. So that is just the that you're doing.
Okay, first of all, 10-4-1, 4-2-1. We use that in Modere. We use that circa 2015, 2016. That is not anything new. That is a social media strategy where you are either posting once or twice a day, except the 10-4-1. You're actually posting 3 times a day on one of those days because 15 posts per week. Oh my God. Here's the strategy. 10 lifestyle posts, like what's going on in your world, your family, your pets, what you're doing, things of that nature. For the example I gave the members only live stream earlier was, hey, if I were drinking ketones, I'm not, I don't suggest it. If you're drinking ketones, you should stop, in my opinion. But anyways, if I had ketones, I'd be like, oh my God, today is such a crazy busy day. And I'm so glad that I have my whatever weird name that they come up with to call their product that's not the name of the actual product, because then people could just Google it and find it easier, which is actually marketing. Yeah. Anyways, I'm so glad that I have my go-go juice or whatever, my unicorn level 10 magic mama juice or whatever. That is a kind of a tease post. So you do 4 of those within the week, and then you do 1 hard selling post, which is why you'll see them doing like packing up trials, which is why we were taught, hey, if you haven't sold any trials, that's okay. Just package them up, act like you're packing up customers' orders, and then put them back when you're done. I'm not kidding. That was taught. Anyways, that's the strategy. And then if it's the 4-2-1, you just do half of that. You're just posting once a day. That's the strategy, which is a lot of posting, a lot. Anyways, not new by any means.
Yeah, I know you've heard this one a few times.
But the audience has.
Yeah.
So explain 4-2-1 and 10.
It's the exact same thing. It's just about, are you posting once a day or twice a day? And it's the amount of times in a week.
Absolutely.
So 10-4-1 is 15 posts, obviously. And that 1 is really, I'll kind of walk you through it backwards, but the 1 is the heavy hitting. That's the one where you're doing one time a week. You're telling them to buy your product or service, how to do it. Directly
request.
Yes. And I recommend that it's definitely in a post and a live video. So that 1 is for us has always been that live video, because the live, it's not pre-recorded. It's not edited. People just get to know you. They see you, they feel you, and they want to buy from you. That's where you build the most trust. The reversing it, so 10-4-1, the 4 posts are really those kind of like getting them interested, letting them know you have something, but not directly asking them for it. It's like dangling the carrot, like, hey, we have this, check it out, comment if you want some more information. If you're here to learn more or looking for this or this. Those 10 posts, the majority of the value that you're bringing to your social media page is going to be those points inside of that we kind of were discussing.
Around your passions.
Yeah, around your passions.
10 posts around your passions, 4 posts saying, hey, I have something, comment if you want to learn more. 1 a week, hardcore, straight at them.
Join me or buy it.
Join me or buy it. Yeah, and here's how.
No, thank you.
With a specific call to action.
Correct.
Got it. So the 4-2-1 is a daily?
It's just a half. So instead of, you have kind of part-time people that when they're just starting out.
Will post 7 times a week instead of 50. Correct.
And the best part about this is that we teach them how to take those same exact 10-4-1 from this platform over to that platform.
Let me try harder, Lushy.
Over to that platform. So if they love Facebook, do it on Facebook. You can still transition that onto Instagram and on to TikTok as well. Obviously, the videos are what are really hitting. So it used to be with static posts with live videos all together, but really it's all video now.
So rank for me, first of all.
Wow.
What kind of posts are hitting the best?
Rank for you.
Oh, please tell us what kind of posts are hitting the most, Courtney. Please tell us. Oh my God. The way that I read this comment, Christy, is wow, those systems are so exciting. Oh, tell us what is hitting the most, Courtney. Please tell us, and wait for her to say live videos.
You? Oh, I see what you're saying.
On Facebook,
live?
probably.
Got it.
Live on.
For me, I think
what's working for the team.
So for the team, I feel like if they're not going live, they're missing a big audience.
That is if the algorithm is showing them to a big audience. But if somebody is just going live, they're probably, especially if it's their first couple times, they're not going to be in front of an audience. They're probably just going to have a couple family members on there, to be quite honest. So yeah, that's not how the algorithm works, Courtney.
Okay, so live video.
I think it's super important. And then the second one I would say is
just video,
reels,
live video, then reels,
and your stories,
and then stories.
Yeah, and I would even interchange and argue that sometimes the reels are more important, because less and less people are going to watch a full live video, but that's the market that people tend to forget about these days because they don't want to go live.
So explain that.
I think that people are getting so used to creating the short form videos and ignoring pressing the live button and talking to their audience live.
Or hot take, are short form videos on like Instagram and Facebook Reels and TikTok hitting harder than lives on Facebook and Instagram? Probably, I know that because my analytics show that. That could just be my social media, but yeah. Just
going.
Yeah.
I find myself, with the countdown, I got to keep this under 60 seconds.
Right.
in order to be able to do this thing.
She's not.
And then we're
And
kind of
sometimes
pulled in
I
multiple different ways.
Yeah, I
Fun
got a lot of
story.
stuff.
Fun quick story. Somebody in my comments, and by the way, it was an instant block because are you new here? What? Said, oh my God, why next time don't it was something like this. Next time don't stop and show the cat. I'm just trying to get the information. Jeez. Whoever you are, because I don't remember your name, find another channel. Okay, bye. Yeah. We love floof breaks over here. We love the fur babies. So if you don't like that, that's fine. But I'm not going to stop showing my cat. Thank you. Next.
That's a lot more to share, but I got 10 seconds left, so I
Yeah.
got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So see you next time. So it's the ultimate test and adjust. Just like try
And do
something,
review.
and something that worked 3 years ago is probably not working as well right now.
Mhm.
And you go with the flow.
Exactly why Facebook Lives are not hitting like they used to. I love how he just said that. And she's like, if they're not going live, they're missing out on a huge audience. Really, Courtney?
This is working a little bit more. Carousels are working better than a one
Long captions. Yeah, it's like do the long captions.
Hashtags are dead.
Hide the hashtags.
Nobody wants to see the hashtag.
I'm sorry. Hashtags are dead. How do you think the keywords and SEO data work if hashtags are dead, Eric? First of all, don't take social media advice from either of these two. Have you seen their engagement? Have you seen the content that they put out? Come on. Now, I know Eric has a lot more subscribers and followers on social media than I do and on YouTube, but look at the engagement rate. That's kind of important. Do not listen to these two when it comes. Also, Eric, why do you have such a high turnover of social media managers? Why does that happen?
Hashtags. They just want the AI picks it up off the descriptions.
The AI, yeah. Tag the people. Don't tag the people.
From the keywords, Eric. They pick it up from the keywords if you're using keywords in the video description, which you can also put in the hashtags or the tags of YouTube videos. You were almost there. You're right there.
Tags.
Yeah, hide the tags. Don't hide the tags. So the name of the game really is just post.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just do it.
occasionally ask them to buy or join.
All hail Luna.
Right.
And
Exactly.
say, here's what I have.
And if you're
I can help you.
Yeah, and if you're showing up seldomly, stop asking them every time you show up on social media. They don't like that either.
Yeah. So show up and you make sure the ratio is right.
Yeah.
And the ratio is about either 1 out of 7 or 1 out of 15.
Mm-hmm.
Not following.
So you got to keep the ratio.
That's true.
The harder you hit, the more you have to bring value.
1000%.
Yeah, in between.
Especially now. And I think
Bring
one of the
value.
biggest things that people, I haven't heard enough people talking about is the length of time that it takes for people to want to buy from you. The dollars. I think we had this conversation on a call not long ago though, about that people are spending their money. They're just not consuming products as much. They're spending money on experiences. The airplanes are full. They're flying, they're traveling, they're spending their money. They're just holding on to it a little bit tighter. And so they're not saying no to you. They're saying not right now. And the amount of exposures that it's going to take them to say yes to you, to see the value in you and what you are offering is no longer 7 to 10 exposures.
What do you think it is?
I think it's double at minimum.
I think it's like 30 to 40.
Yes. I mean,
online.
because they're
In
so
person,
used to it.
one-on-one, it's like 6.
Yeah. Get more people.
But online, it's like how many people have decided that they're going to buy something?
Everyone's selling you
They've
something.
they've decided I'm going to buy this thing,
Yes.
but they just haven't gotten around to buying it. And they've seen that ad
Target market them.
100,000 times. They've seen the ad,
Yeah. Guilty.
or you've hovered over something a little bit too long. So now you see the ad, automatically.
We've talked about
in
it.
your feed constantly, or you bring it up in conversation and your phone picks it up
Yes.
and all of a sudden that's all you're seeing. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
But still, it was 9 months later that you did it.
Yeah. We just desensitized to it. And I have taught myself not to impulse buy.
Really?
I trained myself not to do that. So Jessie Lee would actually train us on this a couple of times. She's like, stop just impulse buying. You know what? You get the same amount of dopamine hits by just putting it in the cart. So the amount of stuff that just sits in my cart, and the cart will sometimes get filled up a few times, multiple times over. This dress is an example. I had it in the cart multiple times.
Really?
And I asked myself, if I'm still thinking about it, then I will purchase it. But I've train myself differently on how I spend my money, how I consume products.
Well, it's a good lesson because
I wonder how she justified. I have to fix my light. Hold on. It's going to get bright. Brace yourselves. Good God, that's bright. I needed, that's still too bright. Okay. Anyways, I wonder how she justifies the spending on an office space because she can't work from home with her husband and her children at home. You heard that right. Yeah. The whole work from home, work when you want to, pockets of your day. No, now she has rented an office space. Yeah. It's going to be interesting how that works out in a few months.
because that's what's happened with everybody else.
Yes.
So how much of your success online
Also
comes in
this.
selling products, leading with product versus leading with opportunity?
I don't lead with product anymore.
So but you used to.
I used to.
It used to just be
And
just
I-
product, samples,
Yes.
going live, packing samples, sending samples, sitting there in your, garage, whatever, packing up samples,
Mhm.
talking about flavors, talking about whatever.
Yes. I still
And-
do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
but not as much.
Correct.
Right. Why?
I lead with the opportunity. I lead with the biggest investment, and then we work our way down. Because no matter what, I'm still talking about the product every single day. I'm a product of the product. I'm exposing them to the product. But if I'm going to have my heavy hit, I'm inviting people into the opportunity because I know how much it's transformed my life. And the thing that brings me the most joy isn't just helping people consume our product and feel the better benefits of it. Like, it's changed my life for sure. I will continue to consume this product, with or without the opportunity.
Listen, you'll continue. Roden and Fields would like to have a word because they went affiliate, and the people that were raving about the products being so incredible joined other MLM companies because they could no longer get paid off of recruiting other people. I love when they say, even if there was no opportunity, I would still drink this product. I would still take this product. I would still use this product. And then the opportunity goes away and they're like, oh, I'm going to go join another MLM because they know, and I saw this comment right here from Rachel. Why can't I pin this? Okay. They know that it's not about the product. They know that it's about recruiting. And how do we know that? We can refer to the income disclosure statements from these companies and, prove it is no different. So Courtney leading with the opportunity. That's fascinating. I lead with the biggest price point. Yeah, that's because you make the most money off of that, Courtney. That's not hard to figure out. Come on. Oh, is that a lie? Do we consider that a lie? Yes or no in the comments for the live chat or replay crew. Well, live chat on this one. Yes or no if we consider that a lie, what she just said. Good night, Tish. What am I listening to? It sounds like they're having a made-up conversation. Indeed, Kit. Indeed. Yeah. Does she still use... This is a great question. Hey, Courtney, do you still use Modera products? Huh? Do you? I bet you don't. I bet you do not. Yes, considered a lie. All right, putting it on the list. We're up to 5, which I expected to be more, but we still have some time to go.
It's just that I've heard it time and time and time again. It's almost like how dare I not invite someone into this to do this with
Selfish.
me. It's selfish to not invite people.
I agree.
This. And
So selfish.
There's a lot of people that are a little gun shy, or there's been regulatory action and you got to have so many customers and all this other kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
people got there's some companies that were almost ashamed of the recruiting piece of their business culturally.
Why is that? Dig a little deeper,
and
Eric.
It always annoyed me because that's what built it. It just annoyed me so much. And you see he's making really poor decisions of late, and there's going to be more poor decisions coming.
Excellent.
That they'll wish they
We
hadn't
love to
made,
see
but,
it.
I do.
Affiliate, let's go.
I do.
it's just so obvious from this higher level
It's
perspective.
so bad.
Higher level perspective.
There's one company, I won't mention their name, but they just hated network marketing for the last 10 years. And they just gutted every one of their distributors just in the last 90 days.
Traumatizing.
Took away their entire business.
Yeah.
and took every single one of the people.
See, now
essentially stole every.
Now here's the thing, Eric. They did not steal. What are you talking about? See, it's not their business, because if it were their business, then these companies would not be able to do that. When I say these companies, I mean MLM companies. It's not the distributor's business. They're a contracted worker for a company that is cosplaying as a business owner on social media because it sounds better. But they're not. And that's a perfect example. Oh, they stole from them. No, they didn't. They decided to change directions and go to what I feel like is more respected. Affiliate marketing is more respected. And I feel like that's why a lot of these MLM companies say, oh, we're affiliate marketing. It's because they know that, come on.
Every single one of the people that those people brought in their network, and took them front line to the company and said, you can become a little seller of ours if you'd like.
Yeah.
A little seller.
It's criminal, in my opinion. It's just so.
That is rich coming from him. That is rich coming from a guy that tells people allegedly how to invest and who to invest with when he's not qualified to do so. Again, in my opinion, that's wild. It's illegal, says an MLM coach. Wild times up in here.
Awful. But anyway, I could digress on it's a fine line right now in the network marketing world.
Please do.
If companies overreact to the marketplace, it's very dangerous. If they underreact, it's very dangerous. So you have to ride this line down the middle and get it right in order to be
one-way doors versus two ways.
Yes. In order to be able to thrive in this market. So what I've looked for and what I always work with Jessie Lee on, and you, of course, through the process, is finding little things that made a big difference.
Yeah.
Whether it was core rank or 10 recruits or convention attendance or doing your own events if you needed to for your team, or radical recognition for your organization, showing appreciation in crazy ways. Did I ever show you the picture that Jessie Lee sent me that it's hung up in the gym?
I have seen that. She sent me the photo when she had it commissioned for, and like the pieces that were added into that. And
I mean, but she was an example of that.
Yeah.
That appreciation for organization.
That thing right there of just like appreciation.
Yeah.
Even something
just out of the blue for no reason. No special occasion, no special anything. But finding little things. It's the thing that gets me most excited. Finding little things that's going to make a big difference. So, the big three for me are core rank inside of a company, 10 recruits inside of a company. And
in case you guys don't know what core rank is, he says that there is a rank in every company that if you can coach your downline, this is what he says, if you can coach your downline to hit this rank, it'll take you all the way to the top rank in the company. So he identifies different ranks in these companies and says, well, coach your team to get to this rank and you'll go to the top rank in the company. Yeah. Okay.
Destination event attendance.
Wild.
Inside of a company. Those three,
Rep
growing
5
those three as core. Those are the big three right now. And maybe down the road, that'll change. I found that products change and DMOs change, and methods of operation change, systems change, cultures change, but some of the things don't change.
Right.
Like finding prospects doesn't change.
You got to talk to people.
Inviting, talking to people. I tell people you don't really have a quality problem, you have a quantity problem.
Yeah.
Just not talking to enough.
Right.
Or you're not being consistent enough. The only reason why I'm still here doing what I'm doing 15 years later is I wore everybody else out. I'm just still doing it and still going to go and still going to keep going. It started with no idea that it was going to get here into this space, but some things change and you need to be adaptable, but don't overreact.
Right.
And some things don't change.
Don't overreact.
We're in a business to educate people so they understand what we have. We sell and support.
How wild is it that he's saying, but don't overreact when he has posted a picture flipping off the haters on his social media platform, which I have never seen him do. And in the last video that I reacted, he was talking about punching people and then paused and said metaphorically, if somebody's coming for you and your family and how you support you and your family, punch them in the face. metaphorically. I'm not saying punch somebody in the face, but I'm not taking it off the table either. And I'm like, I have never seen him more unhinged in my life. It's almost like, Eric, are you worried about losing MLMers to coach? What are you going to do then? Who are you going to coach? Affiliates? Come on. Stop it.
Support.
Yeah.
We recruit and support. We duplicate and we leave. Those are never going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everything else can change. Comp plans will change and company execs will change, and the world will keep changing. Yeah. I mean, we're entering a world that's getting a little bit nuts. Hey there, just a quick interruption, especially for network marketers. Whether you're just starting out,
I am going to fast forward this because this is just him pitching his next thing.
Like fresh and new. Well, before we get to fresh new tools, rank the social media platforms high to low on what's converting the best right now.
Okay. So I will just speak. I really, really feel like this is based around passions, and I'll speak from our organization, because our team definitely has their passions in multiple different platforms. So when you are asking for converting the people that when they're posting and getting the responses, the people posting on their preferred platform and going the most consistent and the hardest on those platforms, those are the best platforms for them.
So there's no such thing as the best platform.
I am obsessed with Instagram. It's where I get all of my leads. It's where I connect with the most people. And yet I still have people sending me friend requests on Facebook.
Has anybody looked at her analytical data on Social Blade for Instagram? If not, highly suggest.
And talking about how Facebook is their favorite platform and how the reach on Facebook is just crazy. The amount, it depends on their goals. They're getting a ton of, and their age, they're getting a ton of views. They still feel like people are on Facebook to connect and communicate. So they're like, the people that are looking for more communities, they still want it to be on Facebook. Then you have Instagram, where it's this, you're able to connect socially, and the algorithms are switching so that the things that you're seeing are so different. I'm able to follow hashtags and see things based off of just following hashtags. I can see stories based on that. I can really connect through stories on Facebook or Instagram. But for me, people post it first on Instagram. So you actually get more of people's lives when they post their stories on Instagram, because not everyone will transfer over to Facebook. And then TikTok, it's still a heavy hitter for those who are obsessed with TikTok. It never became my jam. But we have
never
team
became
members.
My jam either.
And Jessie Lee was like, I remember when we were all talking about
pushing me.
Definitely, she was not going to do it. And then all of a sudden she did it, and she was the best at it. Yeah. She was the best at it. And so it's just a matter of content on, fall in love with one platform, and then just transfer.
But YouTube, you ever play with it?
That's the one area that I keep being told you have to get on. Yeah. And Pace Morby was the one who goes through that.
Yeah.
And that's where he's grown his entire community on there. People just want to watch you live.
I've underdone it.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
You have. You've talked about upping it for a while now.
Well, and I've upped quantity in a lot of different directions.
Yeah.
But again, it's planned.
It's a search engine too.
Right. No. Yeah, everything is now.
It's true.
Every single platform is. All right. So I buy that quantity matters. Pick your platform, start, and adapt.
You can grow. You can reach. You want to know the craziest thing? I looked up the downloads, and I don't want to give wrong numbers, but you just look it up yourself. If you're listening to this, go to the App Store and look at Facebook, look at Instagram, and look at TikTok. There are like 13 million downloads on Facebook. I could be totally wrong. It is 3 times the amount though on Instagram.
It's been out
of
longer.
People that actually have the app downloaded. Wild.
Crazy.
It's crazy. And then you think about,
that's really not that wild. Facebook has been around longer than Instagram. Instagram has been around longer than TikTok. That's really not rocket science here. It's been around longer. So it's going to have more users that have downloaded it.
About the amount of, whenever we have people on our team that have targeted their own countries by speaking, the mother language of the country, and been able to just been like, either they're posting in English, or she's posting in Swedish. And then all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I'm going to take over Sweden. I'm taking over the entire market. And she just started posting in Sweden or in Swedish, and she's exploded her following. So it's really, and it's Sweden, it's not Spanish. It's not German. It's not French. It's Swedish.
Yeah.
So you can really just get focused, get consistent, and just go all in on it. It doesn't matter the platform. It doesn't matter what you're talking about, as long as you
have you played with any of the AI tools?
I have.
Did you play with Nowsite?
I did actually.
Yeah.
I was setting up my getting to me. And I feel like I talked too formal to it. So I like need to redo it to make my story
Make
a
it a
little
little
bit
bit
better.
more. Yeah.
Make it more
What's
like
so
me.
interesting about it is
It's good though.
Yeah. What's so fascinating is they created an avatar of me. They taught it everything that I've trained for 36 years. And you can ask it any question you want about network marketing, and I will answer in every language in the world.
That is
in my voice.
Yes.
And as a video of me. So
I recorded my own.
So crazy.
It is
so crazy what it's doing. And this airs.
So
It'll have.
She doesn't even.
I'm assuming you use.
She doesn't even have the download.
So
yeah, we use.
Sorry, I memeant to pause that. She doesn't even have the download amounts correct. Facebook 5 billion plus, Instagram 5 billion plus, TikTok 1 billion plus. Oh my God, that tracks.
A lot of like words a lot. With her.
So they're creating a better version of that inside of Nowsite, but all 100% free.
I've heard of I don't know if you look, because I know with being super focused on Nowsite, but I had heard about, I was Zoom with Ace. So Ace had something like that too, but they were both at ANMP.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of where all of the techs were like collaborating and are coming together and just sharing all of the different things.
Fascinating. So I think those that get in front of using AI tools early, it's going to be bigger than social media.
It's compressing so much time, energy, effort.
Ultimately, you can train your avatar to go and create content. Do you know it can create video content now?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Literally used it in our system.
No. The Nowsite.
Not that one specifically, but I have seen
Here's the thing. Here's what it's brand new. You can have it clone your voice and make a video by just telling it, I want it to be a video about this with these themes and these images, and I'd like music in this tone and my voice talking about procrastination.
Yeah, like a tip.
And it'll make it. Takes a couple minutes and it makes it, and you don't need an editing team. So yeah, the world's changing. And I think in the next 5 years,
you don't need
the
an
network
editing
marketers
team
that master and get in front of AI are going to have a huge advantage over people who don't.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Because we still need.
Was it him or was it Brian Underwood? Was it him that was talking about making an AI or what is the word I'm looking for? Like a holographic Jessie Lee after she passed. Do y'all remember that? I think it's him because he talks a lot about AI.
Still need to, we serve a bunch of different functions. We educate the consumer, stand between the company and the consumer. We educate. We
demonstrate how
demonstrate it. We show them. We have a sense of community that's unique and valuable and important and lovely. There's personal development that's kind of attached inside of what it is that we do.
Why are you rubbing this like that? Stop.
Right.
By being involved with that. And then people need to have a way to be able to go earn some money.
It was him.
And this is one of those ways for people to be able to earn some money. Once you have a smartphone, you kind of don't have any excuses anymore. Unless just literally choose not to go make money.
Right.
Because you have 8 billion people in the world to reach. And now I can reach them all in every language. I can't wait till that is live.
Crazy. Yeah.
And I can go live and it literally auto translates into everybody's language accurately in real time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're very, very close. Months away from that being able to happen. Imagine going live on an Instagram story or events.
Listen, events are another animal. I mean, I've had the conversation with you multiple times. So can we get this language translated?
This is sped up. This is at 1.25 speed. And every time there's this long pause, I remind myself of that. This is sped up.
Well, we need this. We need this. We need this.
So expensive.
It's a lot.
So
you got the real people.
If you're in that business, you're going to be out of business.
If you're in that business, you're going to be out of this. I have something for you. Hang on a second. I just have to find it. I need to get my thing set up. What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. I don't know if DC is still on here. DC, what is that thing called that we were trying to set up for me? Where is this sound effect? Now the moment that's up.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. It's right in front of me, by the way.
If you're in the translation business, you're going to get all the dollars you can get because you got about 12 months.
American Sign Language too.
You got about 12 months and then it's over.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to be done and it'll be seamless. You'll be able to tell.
It's just amazing the different areas that are creating the need for adapting at such an aggressive rate.
Yeah.
Soundboard.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of podcasts and man, where tech is going. We're not going
to really, it's amazing and it's incredible. It's also scary.
And
I'm not scared.
I think,
but
here's my view.
It's like scary, but I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But I've never been afraid of an election. Everybody's always said if this side wins, it's going to be the end of the free world. If that side wins, it's going to be the end of the free world. Like, if you want to believe that, go ahead.
Right.
But I'm an entrepreneur and we just adapt.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be a time. So I've always just adapted to every administration,
yes.
Whatever. Same thing's true with technology. Same thing's true with AI. Same thing's true with systems and demos.
It shows you how to take things. And
the same thing's true, working with different organizations that doing things that I've never seen done ever.
Yeah.
And they actually did it. I'm like, oh, okay. I've learned something new. Now I got to think about how that fits into what's going on. Now let's figure out if we're going to add technology to it. If we're not. So I believe it's the entrepreneurs who are most able to adapt to changing methods.
I have to parent.
Yeah, and they have to have belief.
One moment. That was silent parenting. Gavin was in the backyard. I saw what he was doing and I was like, no. I gave him the mom. Absolutely not.
Belief.
Yeah.
So often we were talking about haters. Like if you are doing things right, you're going to trigger people with your presence.
So first of all, Courtney, bold of you to think that your presence is triggering a hater. You are being held accountable for your actions and the things that you're saying. Facts are not attacks. Even though I know you want them to be, they are not.
Just by being there.
Say that again.
I don't have time to spend around people that my presence triggers them. And it's what you're saying.
So
too.
if you're doing things right,
if you're doing things right, then naturally your presence is going to trigger people. Just by being you.
And you know what's funny? I call this the rule of 10 because there's so many companies change entire systems, ways of doing business because 4 people complain. And then they all get together and they say, everybody.
Guys, we have a visitor. Oh, this is an unfortunate pause story. We have a visitor. Come here, little lady. Little baby. To the guy that didn't want to see my cat. This is just for you. And the fun part is you can't even comment. Love that for you. This is Luna, everybody. Hello, little baby. Hello. I feel like this is our response to them saying we're haters. We're just over here with our floofs, and I'm over here with my Diet Dr. Pepper, living life. It's the channel owner, you guys. Hi. What are you doing? Oh. Legs going up. She is very talkative still, but right now she's chilling. She's purring though. Huh. Yes, you are. She wakes me up every morning at 6 chatting. Actually at 5. I wake up at 5 now. And let's see. The toe beans. Can we show them your toe beans? Oh, it's okay. No, you're real comfortable. into the mic a little bit. Don't purr for them. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. Oh, let's get in that spot on her neck. Yeah, so I'm the only one that she lets hold her like this. And also, she'll let me hold her like this when we're not sitting at the desk, but this is the only time she lets me hold her this long, like this, is when I'm here with you guys. Wild. I think she likes y'all. She feels real comfortable. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, I have to get back to work now, okay? You want to say anything to the people? You gonna go watch Gavin in the backyard? Okay. All right, thanks for hanging out. She's a pretty girl. Oh, big stretch. Okay, back to work. Us just embracing our floofs and living our best life. And then we have these people that are calling us haters for educating on facts and statistics. Also, if you have not checked out the video description, go see the press release from the FTC from today that Jane Marie over at the Dream podcast sent me. It's a great read.
You know what my
Everybody's
company
complaining
says?
about this.
I love it so much. They say, okay, who's everybody?
Yes. So I always say, if it's more than 10 and you can give me names,
Mm-hmm.
then let's talk about it. But if it's less than 10, you cannot let yourself be sold by those.
I'm pretty sure that there's more than 10 people in the live chat and also replay crew. What's up, replay crew? That don't agree with multi-level marketing and think it should go away. So let's make this happen, Eric.
So the rule of 10. So
Okay.
most people stop doing something that's working because
Right.
8 people complain. And then they just stop doing that thing. And they don't know why they don't have momentum 8 months later.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just dialing this in, reminding myself.
it's the rule of 10.
It is. It's true.
You cannot let a small group, even if they're influential, sometimes, especially if they're influential.
Yeah.
Because sometimes more senior, more legacy leaders, the old guard, quote unquote,
Yeah.
from your company, they get their significance by complaining.
Yeah. Their voice and then it gets
Yes.
to the point where they don't have anything positive to say anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So nobody will pay attention. So they have to say something
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want somebody to look at their actual production because they haven't been producing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't
Right.
clocked
Yeah.
that.
So I'm not saying I'm generalizing when I'm talking
Right.
about old guard, because in our business is the most forgiving business in the world,
What?
because you can do something 20 years ago and still be just kind of riding it and making money today.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Do you think that that's going to shift in our?
Mixed?
Yeah. I do too.
I think the idea of do for 3 to 5 years what other people want, so you have the rest of your life what other people don't, is the worst meme.
It's the real people. Our profession doesn't always feel professional.
Right.
No. It's the health claims, it's the income claims, it's the lifestyle claims, it's the actual statistics and data that come from these companies' income disclosure statements. It's the way that these income disclosure statements are written to be intentionally deceptive or difficult for people to understand. Yeah. It's the fact that, in my opinion, these are pyramid schemes where you make the majority of your money off of recruiting people and having a team versus the actual selling of the product that gives the industry a bad rap and makes you look not professional. But y'all in the comments, why do you think multi-level marketing gets a bad rap or appears to not be professional? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think.
It's the worst,
And it's
meme.
shifting massively right now.
Yeah, you need to. I mean, Intel. I was just watching, just before you got here, on CNBC. Intel might go out of business. They're this close. They're on a razor's edge of going out of business. Intel.
Since
Okay.
DOS, since 1990.
Intel, because they're
80s.
not keeping up with NVIDIA and these other, super AI chip manufacturers or whatever.
They didn't
They're-
choose to adapt.
Or they got outmaneuvered or outworked or who knows? I don't know the backstory. All I
Right.
know is they're like,
This is why
they're going to
recruiting is so
them off
important.
for pieces and parts.
Yeah.
You can't build one thing and have it for forever.
It's true.
Um,
That's why recruiting is so important.
yeah.
Bringing in new minds, new ideas, new
Th-
vision, new
there
purpose.
there are some
energy.
companies. There are some companies that allow
Why is this a podcast?
like inheritance, like kids
Mhm.
to have the distributorship if a parent dies.
Yep. We can will our business. Yes.
Right. But they're giving the kids the recognition that they actually built it. They're sending the kids on
My
the trips.
kids. I'm just kidding.
They're sending the kids on the trips. They're putting the kids on stage. The kids have never recruited anybody.
I
They
need to
never
have a
built
conversation with my children. Stat.
anything. Like, what is going on? Like, you take the money, but
Yeah, will
this
the
idea
business.
of so entitled
Mm.
in our world that like, no, you don't understand the price that I paid 12 years ago. Well, the
I think you got
market
your
doesn't
money.
care.
Right.
I mean, try and sell that on Wall Street. What you did 12 years ago? Good luck.
You know what's wild to me is that Eric talks about what he's saying here, basically saying you should still be working. You shouldn't be collecting money off of something that you did 12 years ago that you're not actively building. But he has people on his stage at his events that are doing exactly that. They're not training their teams. They're not doing events. They stopped doing that years ago. They have people in their downline that now take that over and they just collect the check. And he recognizes these people. So it's really interesting to me to hear him say this. And, I hate that phrase. Well, why are you platforming these people that are doing that on your stage, Eric? Seems a little contrary to me.
Right.
But it's so entitled inside of our space that like, no, that's the promise. If I work really hard for a little while, and I hit, then I don't have to do anything.
Make a shift, and it divides. It divides.
Well, those aren't the real entrepreneurs.
What?
I mean, honestly, I was thinking about this over the course of the last couple of days. How many people on your team do you think are entrepreneurs?
Oh my gosh, 1%.
Zero. Because they're distributors for the company. They're not entrepreneurs. They don't own a business.
Yeah, because I played with the term solopreneur because most of them don't have employees, so they're they're an independent contractor, right? They're an independent distributor. They're a representative of the company.
Yes.
But I've even gone to the point of micropreneurs.
Sometimes I wonder for myself.
I think they're micropreneurs.
Yeah.
They're just barely in the game.
I mean,
What do
you talked
you mean sometimes you wonder for yourself if you're a micropreneur or a solopreneur? What, Courtney, did you mean to say that out loud? I don't understand. What is happening?
asked about it in Next Level Mastermind, and like spot on. How many hours are you working this week?
Be
And what
honest.
do the hours actually look like?
Right.
What are you getting done? What are your daily methods of operations? And
Right.
I'm already feeling like, wow, okay, it's definitely transformed for me over the last 6 months of what I'm doing versus what's kind of pulling
Why?
me
Because
in.
you were handed a large amount of team members that were direct to Jesse Lee from Brian Underwood. So now you have to reach out to all those people. It's creating more work for you. What?
Versus the things that bring me joy versus the things that I
Wow.
need to do more of.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to get pulled into the managing side when you get to a
Well,
certain level.
or just playing the kiddie games.
That too.
It's like I'm fanatical about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and people like that
Ooh,
because I
it's
always think
unfortunate.
if Jeff Bezos could only make money building a network marketing organization, not a company, but a downline as a field leader, right?
Okay.
What would he do? How big would it be? How fortunate would the company be that got that vision connected?
Right.
But too many people, they come in, they make 100,000 a year, they make 100,000 a year, and they're like, you know what? That's good. I'm good. That's not a Bezos mindset. Or if an Elon Musk said that was the only way he could make money
Mm.
was to build a network marketing downline, build an organization. That was it. It was the only way he could do it. Okay. He couldn't couldn't do it through SpaceX, or he didn't. And let's assume he didn't own all those things and he wasn't famous. He was just Elon Musk. What would his systems look like? They would be extraordinary, wouldn't they?
Right.
How would he create duplication within his organization? What would the culture be like? And I've been in some rooms lately that have reminded me that I'm playing just in the kiddie games, just
Yeah.
so small.
Yeah.
And it's a good feeling to realize there's levels. And
Okay.
yes, network marketing is forgiving. Yes, there's a lot of people being paid a lot of money that they haven't worked for in a long time. And that's a kind, nice thing. It's a very forgiving thing. I don't know a harder business at the beginning to grow and build. And I don't know a more forgiving business later.
Right.
To be able to kind of just ride and pretend like you're building a business. Show up on the Zoom.
See, now that's what I should have titled this video. A word salad exchange of nothingness. Featuring Eric Worre and Courtney Shepard.
Show up at the events, take some selfies, sign some autographs, do a little keynote.
And how many people are sitting here like, is he looking over my shoulder right now?
Probably not that many, because I mean, look, how many make $1 million a year in network marketing?
It's so weird.
1,000 maybe?
So weird.
I don't know. Maybe there's more than that.
I was going to say, it'd be a good number to figure out.
I think if I had to guess, my guess is around 1,000.
1,000 annual
that are currently making over $1 million a year.
Out of the entire,
but it's hard to tell.
Right.
Multi-level marketing.
It's hard to really know. Some countries,
especially with the fluctuation.
Some countries they don't want it to be known because there'll be a kidnapping risk. In some third world, if you're a big earner, you want to kind of keep it quiet.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Growing a global organization is a big difference. So when you're thinking the amount of things that Americans, I'm telling you guys, you need to expose yourself to more, because there is so much out there. The world is so much bigger than you're giving it credit for, and it's also so much smaller than you realize. I just navigating things with Europeans and conversations and obstacles that they're facing. It's like you really start to realize how much room you have to grow as a leader when you are working with people from multiple different countries. Yeah, exposing yourself to challenges that you would otherwise not.
So you're playing small, I'm playing small, we're all playing small.
Yeah, we just got to get like Jeff Bezos.
Change how. Well, I mean, think about how he looks at systems. I mean,
you're blowing my mind over here.
Get a book called Invent and Wander.
Invent and Wander.
Yeah, by same guy who did Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, Walter Isaacson.
Okay.
Invent and Wander. It's the collected writings of Jeff Bezos, but basically it's his philosophy. He's where I got one-way doors and two-way doors.
Well, that podcast, I forget the guy's name. Gosh. That was good.
So good.
Yeah, I was just looking through those notes too and talking to somebody else about that.
Yeah, so fascinated with radical obsession on customer satisfaction. Just absolutely fanatical.
And just the way that their brains process.
This is the worst interview I think I've ever seen from Eric. Maybe it's because it's Courtney Shepard. It feels awkward. It feels forced. It feels like a lot of this should have just been a conversation privately between the two of them, not necessarily recorded for a podcast. What are we doing? By we, I mean them. What are they doing?
Think about money and
DC, this is sped up to 1.25. This is sped up.
Investing and how to move it and where to put it and just
fun stuff, right?
Yes.
What's next for you?
Currently, traveling the world with the team actually, which has been amazing. So getting, shaking hands and kissing babies.
Are they happy when you roll into town?
Yeah, it's been a different experience the last year doing it without my best friend. It's totally different. Many people kind of say it in this way. And I think many people listening can relate to this too. There just comes a time when you have to really step into it for yourself. You have to step into the light. You have to step into the higher level of leadership. And I was already doing that, but I was doing it with someone by my side. And so it looks a lot different now.
When you think everything happens for a reason, you're one of the reasons.
I do think that. I know that.
Because you're a different person.
I am.
You're not a different person.
I'm an amplified version of.
But no,
which is it?
You are. You've given yourself permission to be a fuller version of yourself.
Yes, for sure.
Since I was. It ended differently, but I was in a long-term business relationship with a friend, which ended badly. But he was Batman and I was Robin. So she was Batman, you were Robin, right? So, and when I started to become Batman, he didn't like it. So he found ways to make my life miserable for a series of time. I know that wouldn't have happened with you guys, but
Mm.
the fact
Oh
that
my
you're not Robin,
God.
But it's a different level of grief that you're sharing.
I
Like,
understand.
like I get what you're saying. It's not that would have happened, but by the way that Batman and Robin separated for
Yeah.
you, it was still creating a transition.
It had to happen.
Mhm.
Had to happen. It was terrible. It was awful. But you know, and
Fight or flight mode for at least a year.
This was also terrible.
Oh my God.
But
This is terrible.
maybe it, you know, being Robin was stunting your growth just a bit.
Well, she would always try to throw me out there and push me and
Yeah, I know.
and couldn't understand where. I think it's like, it's really, really interesting because immediately people saw me differently before I even felt like I was different.
I didn't right away.
Yeah.
I didn't right away. I saw it like maybe
I wouldn't say people that were close to me or people that,
3 months after.
Mm.
Then I went, oh,
when you first saw me, it was heavy.
there she is. There she is.
Like a beautiful butterfly.
Look, look.
Just
She
flapping my
wasn't
wings
just a
now.
friend.
Yeah.
She's a builder.
Yeah.
You know, that's the legacy. That's the stuff. Tell me a Jessie Lee story that nobody knows.
Jessie Lee story.
I thought this was about,
I think that she was
I thought
so
this was about Courtney. You're interviewing Courtney.
raw and authentic that people really felt like they.
I'm sorry. She was authentic, but she had a fake persona online. How does that work?
knew her so deeply, and what I really feel is that in her transition, I feel like the entire world grieved her to the extent, in a way that we'll never see again, in my opinion. I'm a little biased, but not only did she touch people that never met her before and they didn't understand why they were grieving, people that watched their friend lose someone that they never met and grieve at the level they grieved created a massive ripple effect. People are now finding Jessie Lee because of that, because my friend is crying and grieving the loss of this woman that they never even met and they don't understand it. And I've continuously like validated that grief for everyone. Like the grief for you is valid, that you're facing, that you don't understand where it's coming from. And we have grief and transitions all the time in our lives. And the story that I think people don't tend to think about as often is that she's still just a woman. And she was, an introvert, and she was funny and loud and connected on such a deep level with everyone that she came in contact with, that her heart was so huge. As you were sharing that before, just sending a gift is like, what do you get? I remember her saying, like, I don't know, what do you get the person who can buy themselves everything? And she was constantly trying to find ways to just let you know that she saw you for being a person, not this celebrity in people's eyes. You were a friend to her, and and
sorry,
she just
a celebrity. You think Eric Worre is a celebrity? Stop. Please make it stop. Let's take a pause here. Jamie, member for 13 months, just got here. Happy anniversary to us. You and me, happy anniversary. I appreciate you. Thanks for being a member. And DC, did I see 28 months? Time sure is flying. Whoa, let's go. Thanks for being a member. Are there any other anniversaries? We have a new member. I missed this. I apologize. Tracy, welcome. You know what time it is. I feel like now is a good time to pause for a second. It was getting pretty heavy, and I feel like we just need a minute for a little shoulder smolder. Welcome, Tracy. So glad you are here. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. Amanda, I don't know if I highlighted this. I apologize. Amanda, member for 5 months. Is he looking for a motive for a crime? Why is he so bad at this? LOL. Couldn't agree with you more. Oh, man. Okay, everybody, let's take a deep breath. And we have about 10 minutes left. So we can do this, you and me. But first, we have to celebrate this anniversary between Britt and I. Member for 27 months. Thanks for sticking through, Aaron. This is yikes. It is. It's heavy. It's gross. I'm not a fan. But I am a fan of you being a member for 27 months, Britt. So thank you so much. And also, Magical Survivor, member for 34 months. That's wild. Do you remember our first conversations? And here we are 34 months later. Isn't that wild? It's wild to me. I forgot to do these. Way to go, Aaron, for continuing this effort on education on the dangers of MLM. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Thanks for being a member. I appreciate you. I don't know. How is there still 10 minutes? I don't know. We'll see. Let's keep going. But thank you, members. And yeah, I appreciate y'all.
She just made that magic for everyone. I think that the story that people don't know is she would talk about it a lot, but she's the godmother to my 3 babies. And, you know, she was very much so online, this social media phenomenon.
Oh,
but
thanks, man.
Even in the midst of being this global leader and building her organization, she showed up for the birth of my second child. And we lived within 20 minutes of each other. And she was training for Eric on like in the middle.
29 months, Lushy, joining in on the fun. And it is indeed fun. Thank you for being a member for 29 months. Oh, the fun we have had and will continue to have.
Love it.
Whoop, did I pause it? My bad.
Sorry, guys, I got to take this phone call to be there for the birth of my 3rd baby.
I remember.
That turned 2, you know, the week that we were in the hospital. And that is the side of her that I don't think not enough people got to witness. Just that love, that support, and that appreciation. As I really thought I was going to cry sooner in this. She was the best friend. And I know that I will never meet another person like her. The amount of, I didn't just lose my best friend. I didn't just lose a mentor. I lost a lot.
I'm glad that she said, I will never meet anybody else like her, because she was an individual at the end of the day. I'm not defending anything that Jessie Lee did while she was alive. You guys know how I feel about it, and I have plenty of videos covering that. However, she was a human being. She was an individual. And for Eric to get on here and say, oh, Courtney is trying to fill, you know, basically take Jessie Lee's place is disgusting. And I'm really glad that Courtney is like, I'll never meet anybody like her. Because at the end of the day, she was an individual.
A lot of people in one.
Yeah.
She was such an anchor of trust for me.
I don't think you lost her.
I mean, no, I didn't physically.
Yeah.
But her power and her energy, it transferred into all of us.
Yeah.
That's how powerful she is. And her energy lives on through all of us. I saw it immediately watching you at GoPro, just the things that you trained forever that she took on as hers. And then you're sharing it in a totally different way. And I'm just like, Jessie Lee is here in the building.
Yep.
And she just does it all the time. And she cares, and she's still carrying on her mission. And I say that often, and I still think that it's not enough. She's just the best person I've ever known.
Yeah. It's like the similar analogy for me as a mentor type of a thing was Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn taught me that
It's getting weird.
And the only way to do it is to take a piece of yourself and pour it into somebody else.
Well,
So
don't do that.
He did that, and the whole world was impacted by that one.
Yes.
And most people never know his name, but they were impacted.
It's still crazy to think.
Yeah, and
how
will
far
be for
the
hundreds
reach.
of years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of years from now, he'll be quoted. Nobody will even know who they're quoting. But such iconic teachings.
That sounds like assault.
So he did that. I poured, trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And see how many people can reach in the time that I have, to see if I can live forever in some way, in some fashion.
Right.
Poured into Jessie Lee, who poured into you, who's continuing the journey,
So he was making it about him.
Try and see what we can do with this world and see how many people's lives we can touch and impact in a positive way. We use products and services as an excuse to spend more time with each other.
Yeah.
And help each other to become better.
She didn't have to do this profession anymore. And she continuously said, I'm here for the people. And I think that legacy not only lives on through me, but through thousands of other people, of just remembering to say their name. And she said that multiple times. I think this is from Jim Rohn or one of the other greats. It's like, you die 2 times. It's the day that you go into the ground, and the last time someone says your name.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think you die that time, because the spirit keeps going.
Yeah. The energies and everything.
You know what I mean? There's people are quoting Jim Rohn today. They don't know they're quoting Jim Rohn.
Yeah. I forget. And
they don't know.
We quote the greats all the time. I'm like, which one was it? Which one said it?
And it doesn't matter.
Right.
And you know what? He never cared.
The teacher.
He never cared to take credit for it, ever. He never said, hey, that was my stuff.
Right. Just spread the good word.
That's the reason why I don't care, either. Take it. Take it. And if it's valuable and it works, pass it forward. Is the only thing I ask. So thank you for stepping into the best version of you.
Thank you.
It's fun to watch your metamorphosis.
Oh, thank you. That's our team emblem.
I think
the
it's just
butterfly.
starting. I think it's just starting. You feel the same?
Yeah. I feel like I heard from a lot of people for a long time that the first year after losing like a deep loss, it's fight or flight mode. That's what trauma creates for us is, just survival. It's just one thing to the next. It's been this time warp. It happens in labor, call it labor land. And I've called this grief land where I just don't really know time very much and creeps up on you fast. And I feel like this next year is kind of just reestablishing the actual intentional steps that I'm taking. Very massive vision and big goals and, growing the team and all of those things. And also personally actually becoming the entrepreneur that's not just the micro or the
Right.
Yeah.
Can I give you one piece of advice?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So there's a friend of mine, his name's Kyle Wilson, who ran Jim Rohn's businesses and created this Jim Rohn International. And he just did all the behind the scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And since then,
Oh
since Jim Rohn passed,
Mm.
he would talk.
This is sped up 1.25. Have I said that like 3 times? Yes, because these long pauses are sped up 1.25. I can't imagine how long that pause would be if it were not sped up.
Talk about Jim Rohn. And I keep telling Kyle,
Oh my God.
it's okay for you to be Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay. You can honor Jim, but you're not Jim.
Nope.
And I would say the same thing to you.
Mhm.
You're not Jessie Lee. You don't need to be. And you can honor her.
You just said at the beginning of this that she was trying to step into filling Jessie Lee's shoes.
Without quoting her every 5 seconds.
Mm.
You can honor her by being the best version. That's what you'd want. Right?
Yeah.
So she's not looking for the credit.
No.
She wasn't then. She's not now. Right? So
She's probably fist pumping right now to you.
Right. For sure. Be the best
I had that to
version.
say.
Be the best version of you. Show the world what you're made of. Take what you've learned and build on it. That's what I've tried to do from Mr. Rohn is take what I learned from him and build on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the mystery of mentors and dealing.
I'm laughing because imagine this not being sped up, but I'm also laughing because my eyeballs feel like they're getting dry because this content is so terrible, in my opinion. Like, oh my God, when is it going to end? There's only a couple more
dealing
minutes.
with
You can
separation
do this.
anxiety and being able to honor through your actions more than your words.
Yes.
That I think that's what you want for you. I think that's what you should want
Gonna
for
tell
you.
it.
And play big, sister. It's time.
I am. I'm
Oh, he
stepping
says
into
it.
it.
Everybody.
Yeah. I want to see you at 45.
That's going crazy.
10
10
years
years.
from now.
One moment. I think I hear somebody.
10 years from now. We're going to be in a spaceship somewhere probably.
Yeah. 10 years is crazy to think about.
World's
Because when
gonna
I
change.
set goals for 5 years, I accomplish them way faster than that.
Yeah, 5 years.
Every time.
Every
almost
time.
impossible
Right,
to
Courtney?
set a goal
Okay.
for 5 years
No,
because it's moving too fast.
and then the 1 year is like,
Hi, babe.
Wow.
Hi. Oh,
Right, two things, the
okay.
pictures,
One
and
moment.
food.
Oh, I'll eat. I'll eat when I'm done here. I only have a couple more minutes. Thank you.
Oh, we'll sit with you.
Okay, thanks. Can I show them?
Yeah, okay. Because I picked the pictures, so I don't care.
Her senior
Yeah,
picture. She
do
said I
the
could show you
dirty-
guys.
Well,
You what? Sorry, that's very bright.
yeah.
Guys, look. That's my kid. She's standing right here. She said I could show these, by the way. Look at her.
We have a lot of pictures. I didn't think we were gonna get this many.
Yeah,
We
this
don't
is such a
even
great
talk to our
picture.
family like this. Who are we gonna send these to? That one's going to grandma, didn't you say?
I don't remember. I think I have it written down what we're going to send to
Okay.
everybody. Yeah. Thank you for bringing this in.
Dad was gonna bring it in. I said, no, don't carry that with the fork down the stairs.
No,
Why doesn't he have his brace on?
because okay, I'll tell the story in just a second. Because he uses his crutch. So he'll use his crutch or he'll use his brace.
He doesn't have to use both.
It's what he's comfortable with, as long as he can control. Okay, so here's the story, because I haven't talked about this publicly. The eclectic Mima says, "Have a great senior year."
Thank you.
Tish says, "Perfect combo of mom and pop." Like you look like both of us.
I was showing I don't remember who it was today.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the compliments.
Senior pictures, and they were like, "Oh, I kind of see you and your mom now," because usually people say that I don't.
And we
look like
sound, you and I sound alike now, especially on the phone when we say certain things.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the story. Let me tell them the story real quick.
Okay.
Oh, Luna. So Saturday night. Okay, let me back up. Friday, Mia's boyfriend, Jerry, and I, and with Mia's help, pulled a 355-pound refrigerator off of the back of our F-250 truck that we have.
I didn't carry it.
You assisted.
I just told Dad to chill. That's basically what my job was.
It was a hot mess. Anyways, we get the refrigerator into the house. We get it set up. Jerry and her boyfriend set it up on Saturday. It's awesome. Really happy with the new fridge and really grateful that we were able to buy a new fridge because our fridge died. I forgot that part of the story. So there was some edge molding for the fridge that we had because it was a built-in fridge that was, I think, put in place when the house was built in like 2002. And so we had to pull all that out. So this edge molding that was in front of a walkway, basically my husband tripped at 10:30 at night, pitch house. I'm in bed, earplugs in, I'm out. All of us are asleep except for my husband. He was locking the house down.
I wasn't asleep.
Oh, you weren't asleep.
No.
Mia was not asleep. She's the one that heard it first. Anyways, he trips over this and falls down this two-step thing, hits his knee, and I'm pretty sure he has a torn quad. We went to the ER Saturday night. That was an adventure. And then yesterday we went to the doctor. He got a knee immobilizer. He got crutches. And tomorrow morning we have an MRI. Did Dad tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have an MRI and we'll go from there. So when you heard her say, well, why is he bringing this in crutches? That's why, because I'm pretty sure now that some of the swelling has gone down that his vastus lateralis, which is one of the muscles of the quad, is torn because he can't like lift. If you're sitting in a chair and like you lift your leg up, you lift your foot up with a flexed knee off of the floor, he can't do that. He has no control. So Jamie said, Aaron, don't you have an essential oil for that?
Remember when my friend's dog bit me and Mom put lavender oil on
Terrible.
my arm? And I literally looked at her and went, what is this going to do? And I was
Straight-
like 6.
Yeah, you were very judgy. And you know what? I love that.
Oh,
Straight to jail.
I've always been judgy. It's my true quality.
She's an Aries, you know.
No, I just don't sugarcoat things.
Also,
Like,
that's
like
a
if
very
you were to
Aries
come to me-
thing. Okay, anyways, let me finish this. I'll come
Yeah,
talk
I'm
to you.
showering.
Okay, babe. That was a little behind the scenes. Let's finish this video. There's only a couple more minutes, and then we can, move on. Good Lord.
Almost.
We go 18
Stretch
months at
yourself.
a time.
Yeah.
What, babe?
What were these?
On the brown table or on the black table. The black
Okay.
table. Thank you.
As far as directional, I don't have specific ones anymore, like a dollar figure or something. It's just directional.
Yeah.
I want to go in a particular direction. Well, anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing
Thanks, guys.
what you
Appreciate
shared.
y'all.
And I appreciate our friendship. I'm excited to watch your adventure, your journey as you go forward
Thank
for you
you.
and your team. Say hi to your team for me.
I appreciate you very much. Thank
And-
you. This is such an honor.
Say hi to your team. Okay, that's the end of that. I'm done with that. So say hi to your team for me, Courtney, so that they'll join my next thing and come to my next event. Also, David says for me to put a life patch on Jerry's on his quad. Maybe the stem cells and the reflection of light will, create a new vastus lateralis. We made it through, guys. I'm so proud of us. I know this was a longer stream. Appreciate y'all being here, and drop your favorite emoji after I post this in the comments. That would be amazing if you would do that. Shout out to the replay crew. Appreciate y'all being here, guys. Don't join an MLM. It's horrible. Don't do that. And good luck to these MLM coaches when all these companies go to an affiliate model. Okay. Anyways, thanks for being here. If you have not already liked and subscribed the video, if you would do that, that would be amazing. I feel like I need some fireworks here because we made it through it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.